I hold you.
In my life will always go on.
Dude, I've been singing all week.
Have you really?
Yes.
Let me hear you.
Oh,
Wherever you are. Low version.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bitch.
believe that the heart does go on.
Why does the heart go on?
High five on the background.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome to Lights, Camera, Cocktails.
Oh, wait, let me start the shit.
What you starting?
She's starting the shit.
I'm sorry.
Starting what shit? Oh, that shit. Okay. I was like,
Now it's official.
Now it's official.
please be careful because you got a bar behind you.
I'm okay, okay. I'm good.
There you go.
Clickety
Okay.
clank.
What's happening, everybody?
What's happening?
My name is Jason,
I'm Zenobia.
as always, and our special, wonderful, lovely guest.
Hi.
Dressed so cute.
Cheers.
We got Smashley in the motherfucking building.
Bum, bum, bum.
It is a very special episode. This is our 1 year anniversary.
It is. It's our anniversary.
Oh, I love that song.
Anniversary. It's our anniversary.
I'm not. My voice is
I'm
terrible.
ready.
I'm gonna leave it
Woo!
that alone. In a year, my voice has not gotten any better. So you're not gonna get too much singing out of me.
We are a year in, you guys.
How do you feel?
I feel
You ready for another year?
I'm ready for another year.
Are you guys ready for another year?
I'm ready for another drink. I'm ready for
Shit.
another movie.
Always ready for another drink in a movie.
I'm just ready.
Before we get started, we do want to thank you guys. It has been a great year. We love doing this.
We
We
do.
appreciate all of you that have been listening since day one.
Thank you.
You know who you are. I'm not going to name off any names,
But you know who you are.
but you know who you are.
And we know who you are.
We greatly appreciate
It's been
it.
fun.
And we
Thanks
got a
for
great
having
movie
me here,
and a
guys.
great drink.
Yes, Smashley, of course.
Being that it's our anniversary episode, we had to have you on here, babe.
Yes.
You look so
We
nice.
do.
A little underdressed.
Okay, so are you guys ready to drink?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
I've been waiting to drink this all week, so I'm excited.
I like that the drinks match the tablecloth.
It does.
So we ran out of another tablecloth, so now we're on canary yellow.
Yes, I like it. We are drinking. Oh God, help me! Punch a la
Allah.
It's
Show it to me. It's been a year. You can't pronounce.
French.
I'm surprised you don't speak French by now.
I don't speak French by now. What
Show
does
me,
it
where
say?
is it? Punch à la romaine.
There you go.
Let's call it that. And Jason used an accent. Take a drink.
Take a drink. Well, we can't drink yet, but we are drinking what Jason just said. I'm gonna call it the punch.
Punch à la romaine.
Yes, and this, my friends, was the last cocktail served on the Titanic itself.
Yes.
If you can't guess,
We're doing Titanic.
we're doing Titanic.
Yay!
today. So what you're gonna need is one egg white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing egg whites again. I'm nervous.
It's my anniversary, so I feel like I'm a lot better now than I was the last time I used them. So you're going to do 1 ounce of white rum, half an ounce of simple syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, an ounce of orange juice, and you're going to top it with champagne.
I was wondering about that champagne. I was like, wait a
Champagne.
minute, that thing's still corked.
Champagne.
Of course. It's a celebration.
Celebration.
It ain't a celebration till you pop
perfect.
some bottles.
And it's a celebration of a year, you
Of
guys.
a year of just everything. I am so blessed to be
getting
here,
drunk.
you guys.
Talking about movies and having a good old time.
People in 1912 are fancy.
Fancy.
Pop that bottle.
All right, guys, you ready?
Let me see.
Okay.
Woo!
What a nice pie. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna top it. Oh, I forgot to say that you put crushed ice in it.
Crushed ice. Okay.
So I learned how to use egg whites today, or not today, this week. And the way you use it is you do a dry shake. So you're not gonna put ice in the shaker. You're just gonna put the egg whites in it.
I see.
And then after you put the egg whites in it, then you put ice in it and the rest of the stuff and shake it. And then
Top
you're
it
going to
with some champagne.
You're going to have some crushed ice, which I have.
Wait, let me get a little more champagne in there.
I'm sorry.
I feel like you just...
Don't skip out.
Don't worry.
How are you going to pop the champagne and only put a swallow?
Nice.
Because all the ice in the fucking drink takes
swallow it
up
and shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Fat bitch.
I hate you, Vera.
All right. So after you
Can
do
we
all
be
that,
like Benny and Vera in like 50 years
I
doing
hope
this
so.
podcast?
I hope so. You gonna tell me to shut the fuck up? That's fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that is the punch. Say it again.
I forgot what it is. Punch a la Romaine.
Yes, punch a la Romaine. That's
old
drinking.
business. I forgot the name.
All right, so you guys ready?
Yes.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
To a year.
So fancy. Oh,
I don't hate it.
that's
That was-
I don't
refreshing.
hate
You know what?
it.
That's super
I was so
refreshing.
nervous.
For like, it's been
awfully, yeah.
it's been so hot these past couple
Today-
days,
oh.
so that
You
is
guys-
nice.
Heat wave, people.
So are you guys ready?
Yet are we in a heat wave?
I know. Are you guys ready for some herstory
On this drink?
on this drink?
Okay, yes.
I love romance.
This is gonna be like a whole herstory episode.
I have a
'cause
lot of
There's so
herstory.
much.
It is. And I broke it down in like real facts
Mm-hmm.
and movie facts.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. So the drink was served to first class passengers during the last dinner on the Titanic on April 14th, 1912.
So
Okay.
us in steerage didn't get none.
No.
I'm getting some tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded bad.
Nice.
Are you getting some tonight?
No.
Nice.
I'm gonna give it a 90% chance of no.
Well, I mean, you remember champagne helps your sex drive, so
A word?
Oh, cheers.
you remember that?
Nice. Awesome. Good times.
So the drink was created by a famous French chef named Georges Auguste Estefar. sounds right. And it was a frozen lemon mix. If you guys don't know by a year now, I can't read names at all. It's just not my... God didn't bless me with that. So this was a frozen lemonade mix with
okay.
rum, and it was popular during the time of like the early aughts, I guess. Sir,
Is that what they're called? The early aughts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Aughts are like
19-aught.
yeah,
not
like
aught.
1905, 1909.
Yeah.
Those are the aughts. So it was like more popular during then, because I've never heard of this or seen it anywhere, and it was kind of hard to figure out what this drink, like how to make it, because there wasn't really a video. Like I had to read a lot of different articles that kind of had it, and I put it all together of what I
Because there
was
was
gonna
no
make.
videos back in
Yeah,
1912.
mhm. But they did find it on the Titanic's
On their menu, right?
that they discovered. So this was their scheduled to be served on that day. So we will see. Well, I don't know if we'll see, but yeah. So
Which means a lot of egg whites and rum went down with the ship.
Damn.
Damn.
We're on the
And
rock.
champagne.
are you ready for my next fun fact?
Yes.
So on the Titanic, it was stocked to the teeth with 150 bottles of spirits. So that's whiskey, rum, vodka, and all those. 1,500 bottles of wine and champagne. 20,000 bottles of beer.
Whoa.
And
On
8,000 cigars.
Damn.
And that was
Wow.
just that stuff. That wasn't even the fucking food and shit.
20,000 bottles of beer.
On the wall.
On the wall when it went down.
Oh man.
The ship's sinking. The beers are on the wall.
I also found out that you can drink water or wine that was found in the bottom of the ocean that's like 100 years old.
Oh, it's been
Get the
aged
fuck
nicely.
outta here.
It's been chilled.
It's been chilled.
Yeah.
It's been somewhere dark. And if it's corked right, there's no seawater getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can drink it. And the
No
people have drank it.
shit.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they sell for.
Bro.
Right?
I mean,
I got into a
it's
rabbit hole.
2.5 miles down.
Yeah.
The pressure wouldn't destroy it?
I also read that
I guess not, because there's liquid inside as well.
Well, I was reading that when they were bringing up on other ships, I don't know if it was this one, but when they were bringing up champagnes, those did like pop on the way up because of the pressure.
Because of the pressure, sure.
So I can't get my champagne. Damn, ain't that some shit?
The fizzy bubbly, it won't.
So that's a little bit of her story on the punch.
On the punch a la romaine.
Okay. I also want to say, since we are doing this week Titanic, that I have found a video on YouTube that shows in real time the Titanic sinking, a digital
yes, you did.
Video of it. And so it is exactly 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is the time that it took for the Titanic to sink. So we have
So I guess
2
I'm on
hours.
this because I'm in direct line of sight of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let
I'm
you
still
guys
gonna be
know
looking.
how far down the Titanic has sank as we go along this
So
episode.
if we have 2 hours and 40 minutes to do this show before the boat sinks.
I don't know if we can do it.
I don't know if we can do it either. So let's get this cracking.
I mean, shit. Last week we did a house party, and that one was like almost 3 hours.
We got real drunk, you guys.
That was a good one.
My apologies for anybody that listened to the house party episode. I was drunk.
Don't apologize.
I'm sorry for what I said when I was drunk.
You waved your diaper in my face.
What the fuck? Babe, that was not on camera.
You know what?
That's how drunk you got.
Why you put my business out on the street?
I will edit that out. So,
Don't bother. I'm leaving it in YouTube.
okay, so are you guys ready for the motherfucking stats?
Oh, I was real excited. I thought you were going to say the motherfucking drinking game.
Not yet.
Because that's like I'm just saying that's a dope ass way to say
I will.
drinking
Okay,
game.
I will get it back.
Next movie that we
come
do
back
that's
around.
exciting like that.
So are you ready for the motherfucking drinking game? Okay, so Titanic came out December 19th, 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And its budget was $200 million.
Yes, it was.
So if you convert that into today's money, that's $360 million.
Damn.
And it made in 1997 and 8, I guess, 1.8 billion with a B
Billion.
dollars.
Highest
Okay?
grossing movie of all time at that time.
At that time. And
Can I give a fun fact about that?
wait, yes, go ahead.
Or do you already have it?
I probably already had it, but I was going to say that money converted in today's money is $2.8 billion.
Fuck.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, I was going to say, since we're talking about the budget of the movie, $200 million to make the movie is more than it cost to actually build the Titanic.
You want that fun fact?
Give me
I'm
that
gonna
fun
give it to
fact.
you.
Give me
So,
that
in
fun
19
fact one time.
So in 1912, the Titanic cost $7.5 million to make.
Was it
So-
7.5 or 1.5?
Okay, so it was in euros, so
Ah.
converting it into 1912 American dollars is 7.5 million
1.5
Damn.
euros is 7.5 American
in 1912.
in 1912.
So, and today, if that money was converted, that would be $198 million.
Damn, that's awfully close.
It is awfully close. And so it cost
I'm already getting sweaty.
more. I know. It cost more to make this movie than it did to make the Titanic. If we're going to get it on this fact, I'm going to give you this fact real quick. So the movie running time is 3 hours and 13 minutes. And if you cut out the opening credits, the end credits, and all of the present day scenes, it is exactly 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
The exact time it took for the Titanic to sink.
They did that on purpose.
That's impressive as hell.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. He did a lot of shit. He planned this shit
James
out.
Cameron did some shit with this
did.
movie. Doing research on this movie, I have become a bigger James Cameron fan.
Me too. I already did like
Holy
him, but
shit.
yeah.
I always liked him. but like now I hold him in higher regard for his ability as a filmmaker that I didn't know before. Like I knew he can generate movies that make money, and I knew that he had some great blockbusters, but his craft as a filmmaker is highly impressive.
So you want to hear the Rotten Tomatoes?
Fuck yeah. I ain't scared of you today.
I mean, we were really surprised last week. So, Rotten Tomatoes gives it, the critics say that it's 89%, and the audience says 69%.
You are
What?
fucking kidding me.
And Zenobia says 90% because
Yeah.
even today, the special effects still hold up.
Yeah.
You can still look at it and be like, okay, you see that's the beginning of it, but it's still really
insane.
I
good.
swear they did it to piss me off.
I was pissed too.
I'm gonna give it
Everyone was talking about this movie when it came out in theaters.
It changed.
What am I gonna
literally
give
everything.
it? I'm gonna give this a 98%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna
pretty
give it
up
a
there.
98%. This is a near perfect movie.
You know what? I'm gonna change it to that too because he took so much care into detail
Yeah.
that it is like ridiculous.
The amount the cast and crew went through to
Everything.
make this movie
Yeah.
Shit.
accurate and
Yeah.
Not even talking about the actors. Let's talk about the motherfucking extras real quick. 150 extras. They all had a backstory.
Yeah.
They all had to be there every single day
Yep.
because James Cameron wanted to make sure that they all understood the importance of this movie.
Not only a backstory, but it was real stories of real people. So he was giving them people that were real passengers on there. And so you knew if you were going to survive or not survive, which kind of thing, which I think that's a good thing so that, especially during the sinking scenes, you know that like, oh, fuck, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it. Are you ready for the motherfucking drinking game?
Hell yeah.
You ready for the motherfucking drinking game?
Nah.
Am I starting the year off with a new drinking games song?
Sure, let's do it. Season 2.
Season
Take 2,
two.
baby.
The new year.
So here's the motherfucking drinking game.
I like that.
You take one simp when Rose says Jack,
Nice.
Whoa.
which pretty much means you are fucked.
Fucked.
It's a boat check.
Not even that.
But then in the end,
She's looking for him down the hall, and he's like, Rose, Jack.
Oh, you gonna get fucked up.
Like, literally, is Jack. She's jacked on Jack.
So, not to jump in on the drinking game, but please tell me that you got to take another drink when somebody says Rose.
I didn't because only. I didn't because I saw how many Rose and Jacks there are that I had to pick one or the other, or you would not be able to survive the game.
Really?
It's that many. They
And
say
you
there-
chose Jack? Because they say Rose a lot.
Yes, I know. That's why I said that Rose has to say Jack.
Okay.
So that it would, because yes, I thought of it. I was going to say if Rose or Jack has ever said, you wouldn't make it through the first hour.
You'd be killing multiple bottles.
So I thought about that one.
Rose? I forbid it.
Okay, so you take one simp when Jack and Rose are running.
Okay.
They do
Good
a
one.
lot of running.
Okay.
You take one simp when Titanic is said or seen.
oh, said or seen?
Yeah.
Shit.
Seen on the side of the boat.
Titanic, go
The
to
scene on-
America.
Okay, got it.
In
Got
5
it.
minutes.
Yep. Every time someone says it.
You can be blasé about some things, Rose, but not about Titanic.
Not about Titanic. That line always seemed very odd to me. Not that I don't like that line, but it sounds like he's getting ready to bust into song. Like that's what I always thought. Like he'd be like, "Not about Titanic, not about," like he's just gonna start
Because the way he
singing.
says blasé.
Yeah, just the way the whole.
I mean, that was a
whole-
common word back then.
No, but just the whole line in itself sounds very like he's setting up.
Yeah, kind of. I like when he does that. He does that a few times.
He does. I like it.
Yeah.
It's just that one line. Even as a kid, I was like, "Is he gonna start singing?"
Also, if you're
Isn't
feeling
there-
frisky, take a drink when Billy Zane is running, because that shot
God.
at him, I swore I thought he was going to end up like the next 007
James
or
Bond,
something.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're gonna take one simp when Rose's mom says Rose's name. So we still get a Rose.
Okay.
She says a little less.
A number of times.
But she says it a lot.
Uh-huh. You know I don't like that, Rose.
Yeah, she's always fucking...
She knows. Rose?
Rose! Get on the boat. Okay, so...
Get on the boat, Rose. Yes, get on the
Good British
boat.
accents, guys.
There's so many different characters.
I don't
in
know
this
if you
movie.
know this,
This is gonna be fun.
But I spent 7 days watching this fucking
I'm gonna cut loose on this one. Good
That's-
luck with the...
How many hours?
The clips.
I know. And, like, in one day, I watched it 1.5 times.
It's like
Today we watched it twice.
More than 24 hours of watching Titanic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
You gonna take a simp when we go back to present day.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so when we
Okay.
see old Rose and fucking Bill Paxton trying to get in there,
Brock, love it.
that's when you're gonna take a drink. You're gonna take one simp when someone gets punched. And there's quite a few punches in here.
Is there?
Yes. Rose punches the dude because he's trying to get her
Oh, yeah.
away.
Listen!
Listen.
What's wrong with you?
Jack punches the dude
the
who's
water.
trying to drown Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Jack gets punched
Jack gets punched.
by the
There's-
fucking henchman, and
Uh-huh.
and his homie Tommy punches the dude who's like, "You can't come in here."
Yeah, when they're trying to like
Right.
break through.
So there's at least 4.
That's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's a good amount of
punches.
punching.
Good.
Yeah, and they're nicely spread out.
There's more than that. There's one in the beginning when Jack wins
Oh,
the
you're
card
right.
game.
Oh, yeah.
At the card game as well. So
Bang the loose thing.
so
You bet our tickets, motherfucker.
you're going to take a simp when someone we know dies. So someone that we followed in the movie at some point dies.
Okay.
So like Fabrizio,
Tommy.
Tommy, and Jack,
The captain.
the captain, everyone we follow. If they die, you take a simp for them. Pour it out into your mouth for them.
Love it. Cheers.
Pour it out for the homies.
Cheers
Into
Pour it
your
out
to
for
mouth.
the
our fallen
homies.
characters.
I did use Captain Morgan White rum
On purpose.
on purpose.
It's good.
In honor of Captain Smith, the captain of the RMS
Titanic.
Titanic, the Royal Mail Ship. That's what it stands for.
Oh.
Yes, it does.
Fun fact.
Because it took American and Royal Mail. That's what it was going to be used for. So
Cool.
there's tons of mail that are at the bottom of the ocean as well.
Y'all didn't get your
Wow.
letters.
Oh,
You
wow.
didn't get your letters.
You didn't get your letter. You take one
Sorry.
simp when someone has a drink.
Nice.
Like, so the old guy's like,
Uh-huh.
no, I don't need that. But you can bring us something to drink. Like, he wants
But
some
we would like a brandy.
brandy. Yeah. And they drink champagne
Join
and
Yeah.
us.
stuff like that.
Or like in the lower class deck, they're drinking beer.
They're
Yeah,
drinking
they are.
Constantly.
He like just grabs
You
like
think
a...
a first class girl can't drink?
Nah, I don't think
Ah,
she
she
can
got
drink.
fucked up after that.
She did. I don't know. I mean, she's sitting up there drinking champagne all day in this contraption that we're drinking.
Shit. You think Rose couldn't drink by this
But
time?
did you see
They
what
did
happened to
learn that
Jason
in
after
finishing
he
school.
like? Did you see what happened after he chugged the
Yeah.
beer? Like when you chug beer.
It's not a good thing when
It's
you
not a good idea, for sure.
Yeah, I don't do
But
it.
also, Jason don't do that shit on the regular. This
No,
girl's
yeah.
been sneaking beers and brandies for years. I think.
She is...
She's like, this is when self-medication started.
She is about 18, 19
Mm-hmm.
because they refer to the rich guy on the boat who his mistress, he married his mistress.
Uh-huh.
And she's not
The
much...
Countess.
The Countess. And she's not much... She's the same age as Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And the Countess was 18.
Yeah, his little
So-
wifey there is my age and
Yeah.
in delicate condition.
Mm-hmm. Means she knocked it
John
up.
Jacob Astor tagging 18-year-olds,
Okay, so...
knocking them up.
So when you see...
But he went down with the ship.
You did. When you take one simp, when you see the safe,
Ooh, okay.
right? In the water or out of the water, you see the safe.
It wasn't in the safe.
It was not in the safe.
But hey, don't worry about it. So plenty of places it could be.
You take one simp when you see the grand staircase.
Good one.
Okay.
That grand staircase.
Every time you're there.
Do you know about the grand staircase?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
I know so much shit,
Do
you guys.
So
my
much.
head hurts right now. 'Cause
Right?
Seriously.
I gotta
It's
get
so
this
yeah.
out. I have to get all this out of my head.
It's almost like we've got to get them out because we've learned all of
Yeah.
them in the past
so
week.
much of this movie.
So you're gonna finish your drink when Jack wins their tickets.
Nice.
Huh.
Okay, so I try to spread them out. I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yes, sorry, I'm sorry. You're not gonna see your mom for a long
For
time.
the rest of your life, because you're going to sink on the ship.
That's fucked up. I go to America, be a millionaire. Not so much, buddy.
Not so much. You're never gonna really technically make it. Okay, so when you're gonna take a sip when the boat hits the iceberg. Iceberg.
Hard to stop.
Straight ahead.
Wah, wah.
So you're gonna take one sip. No, sorry. You're gonna finish your drink.
That sounds more like it. Yeah.
You're gonna finish your drink when Rose drops the heart of the ocean in the ocean.
Oh, bye.
Well, damn. Just one finish.
There was 3, didn't I say? Jack wins the tickets. They hit
Oh,
the iceberg.
you're
and,
right.
And Rose drops the necklace.
Okay, my bad.
You got something else to add?
I was gonna say take a drink every time you see the heart of the ocean.
I like that.
That's pretty good. That is Smash
It
Ladies.
is.
Because I want you to take a picture of me. Or draw me like one of your French girls
It's
wearing
a
this.
pretty expensive prop.
Mm-hmm.
And only
Fun.
this. How much is the prop?
I think it was. What did I research? $8,000 to make. They had to do
Damn.
several replicas, but the replicas were not real diamonds or anything like that. But after the movie came out, of course, like real replicas were made by
Yeah, I saw
Swarovski, and so those cost.
Can't exactly go
Thousands.
to Zales and pick that one up.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how.
Every
Yeah.
kiss begins
But,
with K.
Gotta go to Jacob.
The necklace was made by 2 men, 2 jewelers, and then after the movie came out, they made a finalized necklace that was given to charity for. Actually, it was given to donate the memorial fund for Princess Diana.
Clear the frame. With your hand.
Okay.
So it was given in charity in donation to her memorial fund in auction. But it's currently on display in the UK. And then whoever bought it at the time knew that it was gonna have to be given to Celine Dion when she performed it at the awards. So she wore it during her performance and then gave it back. But the mystery, it's kind of cool because the mystery of the actual prop that Kate Winslet wore, no one knows what happened to that necklace.
That bitch puts it in. It's in her.
So it's
when she died, we gonna find all her
She's
stuff.
gonna be.
Or
I want
no
to be
one's
buried
like-
with my.
Yeah.
Maybe
necklace
she really
from
dropped it
Titanic.
in
no
the
one's
ocean at the
no one's
end.
fessed up as
Really?
yeah, no one's confessed that they have it.
James is probably pissed.
I mean, or he could have it,
No, he
No,
would
he would
say.
say, he'd be like, bitch, that's on my wife's neck.
or the prop master could have it. I know
Fun,
prop people that keep
that you
props.
mentioned that.
I know that fun fact as well. Are we well, okay?
Let's get on getting on.
All right. Before we start,
I'll
I
take
want
some
to
more of
know. Do you want?
Chill. I want some more, please.
Glasses are just coming towards me right now.
I figure life's a gift, and I don't plan on wasting it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you slurp like him too?
To make each day count.
Make each day count. Okay, so before we start,
Thank you.
do you want to hear a real fact or a movie fact?
Is that the end?
The drinking game?
Oh,
did you have
and
one?
that's the. Oh, did you have any?
No. Let's just get on.
No,
getting
bitch.
on.
Give me one.
You want one?
Give me one.
Fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would say one thing, but I'm not 100% positive about it. So I'm going to go ahead and say take a drink anytime you see a clock. Because there's a lot of them.
And they're very significant too.
You are so good. You're right. You're right.
There's a lot of clocks in this movie.
How about
There's
drink
a lot.
every time there's anyone's standing on the rails?
Nah.
You just anytime they're outside, just sucking
No,
it
like
down.
standing
not
on the
really
rails,
inside.
like in the front, like when they're standing, or like when Kate's gonna jump, or like at the end when
the
they're all
king of
on
the
the
True,
world.
that's pretty good. They're always on. This is where we first met.
He's
They have
like,
to climb the rails.
Okay, I like that. Well, that is the motherfucking drinking game. Okay, fun fact. Do you want a real fact or movie fact?
So many fun facts. We're just gonna throw them out there as they come.
Just give me one, and I just want to start with a good one right
Movie
now.
fact.
Movie facts?
Okay, let's start with the railing. We already started on it.
Oh,
I mean, we
okay.
already mentioned it. The people probably want to know.
So what are we talking about? The railing of
The Titanic for the movie was built to a certain degree to scale of the actual Titanic.
It was
They
never
didn't finish
100%
it,
done.
obviously.
Right.
But
The starboard side, the side that they actually hit, was
they
completely
built
made.
that one.
Yes.
They did not build the port side. However, the height, the width, the dimensions were all the same,
Yes.
except
There
for the
were-
stairwell.
Well,
Right.
I also there was parts of it. They made this. They made
Excuse
it,
me.
but they made it in pieces,
Mm.
so they can move pieces. So, like the front, where Jack is king of the world, or they're flying, or whatever, is a completely separate piece.
That's the poop deck.
It's a completely separate piece
Uh-huh.
that they could pull away and do the 360-degree shot of it, and add in the digital in the
Yes,
background.
absolutely.
I personally, Zenobia, have been on that part of the set.
What?
In Baja, California, and Mexico.
Where
I went on a
damn.
cruise where they filmed a lot of parts
They
of
did.
this.
They
There's still
absolutely
set
did.
pieces that are there.
Nice.
And I got to be fucking king of the world on the same exact spot that
Damn.
Leo got to fucking do that.
Damn.
How cool is that?
That's really cool. However, we didn't give them the fun fact.
Oh.
The
Okay.
fun fact is the staircase.
Yes.
They made it wider than the actual Titanic because
They could only fit one person walking up it, the original Titanic.
Right.
people are bigger now than they
Right.
were in 1912.
People were smaller back then.
People were smaller
So-
back
Plus,
then.
they had
apparently.
to like fit, all the film equipment
Yeah.
and all the lighting stuff that goes on. They needed to build it
Of
in
course,
a bigger
So they
but
scale.
for the most part, that was the deciding factor. Was people are bigger now in 1997
Yeah.
than they were in 1912, and therefore two people could not walk side by side in the dimensions that were in
Right,
1912.
right.
So they
That's-
added 18 inches.
Yeah, that staircase alone, I think, cost $200,000 to
It's-
build. It's built out of oak, like
Yeah.
real oak.
It's not. They built a real staircase, not a.
Yes,
set
they
staircase.
did.
Right.
Yes, they did. So much. They did not spare any expenses on this movie.
It was not supposed to cost as much to make this movie, but
There's literally a shot that is $1 million.
yes,
One shot.
one shot. One shot. Okay, so that was my little fun facts. So we could start.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start at the top.
The history of the
Let's start
Titanic? I
at
don't
the
know.
very
Do you want to hear a history of the Titanic?
Sure.
I'll give you one of those. Okay, so the Titanic sank all the way down at 2:20 a.m.
220.
and help did not get there until 4:10.
Damn.
It's fucked up.
So the people in the lifeboats were further enough away that they didn't get sucked down, but they also did not come back.
They did not.
And for the people to be in that cold water, they literally had about 15 to 20 minutes before they're dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was very few survivors that made it
How
out
did
of the,
the
water.
people survive that got out of the water?
They just happened to
Be
just
drunk?
make it.
Well, what did
The
you
dude-
say? Remember, you said if you keep swimming, you have.
Yes, absolutely. And the more exercise that you do, the hotter your body becomes. The more movement and kinetic energy that you produce, your body temperature will stay to a certain
But at
degree.
the level of
But
what that
who the
was-
fuck can swim for 2 hours?
What the
I would have
level
swam to the boats. I don't give a shit.
of water, like the coldness,
dark. You don't know where
was
they're at.
basically your muscles are going to start shutting down, your organs are going to start
Yeah.
shutting down, and you're going to die. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you had a very short period of time in that water to be saved. Funny you said that being drunk. The last scene where they're on the top of the rail and the chef guy pulls out his flask and he drinks and he jumps in. That is based on a true person who
Yes.
jumped into the water. and he did survive. But the reason why the flask part was added in there is because the extra actually brought the flask from home because it was a family heirloom that was
like a period flask?
Yeah,
Fuck.
which was from that time period.
No,
So,
That's
yeah.
cool.
That's really cool.
And James Cameron was like, bitch, I like that.
Yeah. I've worked with background people who bring family heirlooms like watches and rings. Like, this was my grandmother's. Like, and like, when I've worked on 60s shows, I'm
It's
like,
important.
keep it on. Yeah.
It's important to people.
And it just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also read that there were dogs on the ship.
There was.
Yeah. And so when the ship was sinking, they let the dogs out of their kennels just to fend for themselves.
Who let the dogs out?
And people do remember
Master at arms.
seeing
Robin,
dogs.
why you gotta be licking my leg right
as we're
now?
talking about
I'm
it right
gonna
now? But people do remember seeing dogs swimming in the ocean after the ship sank.
Yeah.
And James Cameron, he thought about including dogs in the movie, but then decided not to because
Well, he included dogs,
Well,
but
the one.
three dogs did survive.
Right.
And they were 2 Pomeranians and 1
was it Yorkie?
Pekingese, I want to
okay.
say.
Yeah.
I believe. But there were many, many dogs that did
But that's
not.
why you know what old Rose, present day Rose, is shown with Pomeranian.
A Pomeranian. That's why she's got one.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Damn it, James Cameron.
So
he paid
good.
attention to so much.
He went to the people who made the carpets for the Titanic, still in business. He's like, hey, girl, you want to make me some carpets that is exactly the same? And they're like, yeah, we still know exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Dude,
still have
that's
the blueprints
crazy.
Can I give you kind of how he started making this movie?
Sure.
He was doing a movie on about a boat sinking. I can't remember what it was. Or like shipwreck. Something like that. And he was doing research and he met this guy and he was like, so tell me, like, how does your cameras work underwater? You know, the deep diving cameras and stuff like that. And he's like telling them, but he's like really being like, you know, we just went down and we saw the Titanic and blah, 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 blah. And he's telling them all about it. James Cameron kind of was just like, oh, yeah, okay, So how's the cameras work? And then later he saw this documentary about Titanic in IMAX. He got invited to the premiere of it and just was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
This is a movie.
I need to like figure out how to make this movie.
Nice.
And so he ended up going down to the real wreck.
Yes, he did.
He went down so many times that he has spent more time with the Titanic than the people who were actually on the Titanic.
Yeah.
So he has done tons of dives down there and actually got to see it up close and real. That's why I know that's why he feels so like, I need to have the same exact dishes.
Everything.
I need to have it look exactly the same. So they went through archives of pictures that were taken of the boat inside and out. They actually went and found the blueprints for the ship so that they can get actual blueprints of where everything was. Like
The white line.
the white line, all that shit. So
White Star Line
White Star
property.
Line. Yeah. They still had the original blueprints of when they built the Titanic, so...
they thought they were
Jesus.
lost until
Yeah.
James Cameron was like, hey girl, let me get that.
hey girl, hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey.
Yeah, but they were hired on to build the set, to build the ship.
You know how he pitched this to the studios?
Yes, but
Oh.
go ahead.
I'll give it to you.
Give
He
it to
straight up walked in there and said, this is Romeo and Juliet on the Titanic.
And,
All right.
And that's it. That's all he said. He's like,
Because
all right, let's do it.
Romeo and Juliet had just come out
Yeah.
Yes,
the
it
year
did.
before.
With Leo.
With Leo.
Leo,
However, if we're going to talk about the actors, there were many, many considerations for Jack as well as Rose on this fucking movie. So many actors could have and possibly would have played this role.
You want to talk about them?
Fuck it, let's go. I mean, there's a giant list. I think it's like 22 actors. There's a thing out there, 22 actors that were considered for the roles of Jack and Rose. But you know about your girl, apparently she was like eyeing this from day one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was gonna save it. You want me to say?
No, hell no, we're not saving shit. We're just rolling it out, though. We only got 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Oh, we're starting to sink. We're
starting to sink.
Back end?
No, the front end. Starboard side got hit, therefore it goes down first.
We're still doing
Then
it.
Comes back up when it splits and stuff.
Okay, so Kate Winslet sent daily notes and calls from England to LA to tell James Cameron that she was Rose. She was like, you don't understand, I'm Rose. I don't know why you don't see it. You need to give me this role. Why are you auditioning other people? I'm Rose. Legitly, this is what she sent to him. And
yeah, she's very persistent.
He was like, fine.
Yeah, it worked on her.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, James is auditioning. I'll go down the list for Rose. Angelina Jolie, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Connelly, Uma Thurman, Mila Jovovich, Madonna. They even considered Madonna, Nicole Kidman. Who else was in there? Jennifer Aniston, Charlize Theron, Rachel Weisz, Gwyneth Paltrow, Drew Barrymore, Christina Applegate. Like, so many people.
Wait, can I say something about Madonna? I did not know that she was considered or auditioned for this role. But in certain parts of the movie, Kate Winslet sounds like Madonna.
Interesting.
Like talking. I'll have to like I hear her talking and it sounds like a young Madonna. And I'll be like, God, you sound like not her singing.
League of Their Own Madonna or Desperately Seeking Susan Madonna?
Around Desperately Seeking, but not as like New York-ish, you know?
Who's that girl, Madonna?
Who's that girl? That one's before. Is that one before?
I think so. Oh, Claire Danes. They offered it to Claire Danes too, and she turned it down.
And why?
Because she had just worked with Leo, and apparently Leo had a little crush on her or something. I don't know.
They didn't get along.
They didn't get along? Is that what it was?
She didn't like him.
Ah.
I don't know if he liked her or not.
Oh, he was...
Apparently he had a crush on her or
something. Yeah, when they did Romeo and Juliet, he was kind of obsessed with her. She didn't want to work with him again.
Maybe that was for the role, maybe it wasn't. We'll never know.
All I'm saying is I would die to have Leo obsessed with me. And this bitch had it and was like, I'm going to turn down the biggest movie of all time. Well, it is not the biggest movie of all time anymore. It is the third largest movie of all time.
What's in front of it? Spider-Man or something like that?
In front of it is Avatar. And in front of that is Endgame.
Yep.
That's
cheated.
What it is.
I think Endgame cheated, though.
Why
they did?
Because they re-released it in theaters.
That's right. They did.
For the reason to top.
Yeah.
That's what
and they were like, you get an extra 6 minutes.
Liars.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean...
We just want that top spot.
If you will... I do have a fun fact about that, though. Well,
before we move on, I got to mention some of the people that were considered for Jack as well.
Oh, yes.
So, McConaughey, Brad Pitt, they offered it to Johnny Depp, apparently.
Yep.
And he turned it down. Not that, he's done bad for himself, but how are you going to turn down this role?
I'm kind of happy he turned down.
I mean, I wouldn't...
Not that I don't like Johnny Depp.
I love Johnny Depp.
Not anymore, but...
But, yeah. Like, Christian Bale as well. Steven Dorff, they offered it to him as well. Or they didn't offer it, but they auditioned him. There were a number of people, but however, James Cameron always was a champion of Leo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the studio that wanted somebody else, but ultimately, I think it was always Leo's part. I don't know if anybody else could have done a better job.
I agree.
And Kate Winslet auditioned with McConaughey.
Wow.
She said it was very weird.
That's because...
But also very fun.
Matthew McConaughey is great.
He's great.
But... he has his accent no matter what, and that would ruin the period.
Isn't it funny that he won Best Actor over Leo the same year they were nominated?
Yeah.
Leo was nominated.
He won for Dallas Buyers Club.
Right. And Leo was nominated for Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Ah,
Which
Matthew
McConaughey was in.
Matthew McConaughey was in, yes. And I believe, I can't remember if it was McConaughey or Brad Pitt that was actually after that script when it first came out. One of them tried to buy it, and Leo bought it first.
All right. You want to know who else was offered a role in this movie?
Who else was offered a role in this movie?
Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm. Word?
He was. Did you know this?
Yeah.
No.
He was offered the role of Captain Smith, but he had to turn it down because he was sick. What was wrong with him? Gastric intestines infection, something like that.
Sorry, De
So
Niro.
this fool got real sick and was like, you know what? I can't.
Bobby.
He doesn't really look like the real guy anyway.
No, I feel like he was too young at the time.
Play that very differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I give props to the man who does play the captain because he does a great job.
Yes, he does.
Once he realizes...
He looks like a captain from that time.
He looks like the captain from this ship.
Oh, okay. There you go.
They did a really good job of matching the people quite closely to what they look like, you know?
Yeah. And he went on to do the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did. Let's see. James Cameron. Are we going to talk about this one?
We should. Might as well talk about the director.
He wanted this movie to be great. Mm-hmm. He didn't care how much anything costs, especially costumes.
Oh, yeah.
He made sure that all of them were authentic replicas of what they needed to be, what class people would be wearing in the class that they're in. They found real pieces that they used as, you know, ideas. Mm-hmm. And I even listened to a video on YouTube that was breaking down, it was a fashion historian, and she was breaking down if it's accurate to the time period. And pretty much it is, down to her corset and tights and gloves and when you would wear them, her travel suit, her hat. You know, all the outfits that she has pretty much are what she would be wearing.
Yeah, and the actors had fun.
They did
doing all of that.
They did. Jack, he was pretty good, except that his hair is modern. So
his hair was modern.
His haircut is a modern haircut, super 90s.
Interesting. I always assumed that they left it long because he didn't have money for a haircut.
That
because everybody else in upper class had high and tights for the most part.
That's a good point.
That's why I assume that they left it long, and that's why it's completely like slicked back at the dinner.
Yeah.
And then later on, when they're downstairs dancing, he's just like free flowing it like he normally does. Which is why there ain't nothing in my hair today.
But keep in mind, those vintage costume pieces that they used and they found were all destroyed because of the water that they had to go in.
Yeah.
The salt water they had to go in.
That sucks.
And
I mean, so much
he
of
knew,
this, the whole,
but it was
so
accurate.
much of the set was destroyed.
It was accurate, yeah.
He wrote the script before
in 5 days.
He wrote the script after talking to Leo and basically him saying like, yeah, bitch, I kind of want to do this. And after pitching it to the company saying, yo, Romeo and Juliet on water, he started sitting down and writing it. So even when they were...
Leo was already nominated for an Oscar for Gilbert Grape. He had just done
Romeo
and Juliet with...
Claire Danes?
I wasn't going to say the director.
Oh.
Moulin Rouge director. What's his name?
Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann. That's why I couldn't remember. It's a weird one. But we love that guy.
So he went to one of the costume designers and he was like, look, is there any boutiques? Well, like a historian, I guess, costume designer. He was like, is there any boutiques that were on this boat that would sell a tuxedo? Because I have to figure out how to put Jack in the tuxedo. And the guy was like, well, Molly Brown had a son who was like 24 at the time. So he would be around the age, and she probably would have bought him, a tux
in Europe,
in France, and bought him like a beautiful thing in Paris.
Oh, that's great.
And so maybe that's how, she befriends him and helps him. And he's like, yes,
so great.
That's it. That's perfect. So that's was
awesome.
Wow.
Added in there because of that.
That's so cool.
What are you planning to wear?
She's like, this.
I don't know.
I tell you, you're about to go into the snake pit.
Yeah, she held him out big time.
Yeah, I love Molly Brown. She's so great.
Can I give you
She's the type of rich woman that I can be friends with.
Well, that's because she knew money. She wasn't always rich.
What mother called new money.
New money. Well, can I talk about Miss Unthinkable Molly Brown?
Mm-hmm.
The real Molly Brown?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's a real fact.
In the water.
So, Unthinkable Molly Brown, she really was a real person.
Yeah, she was.
But her friends did not call her Molly. They called her Maggie. And Molly was what was named, that was given to her after sinking. She really was new money. Her husband had made money somehow, and now she had money. She was a person on the boat trying to save people, trying to get her boat to turn around, trying to start a mutiny. And I think she might have saved maybe like a couple that like swam towards.
Nice.
But, in a hole, nobody really went back. But she was fighting to try to save these people. And there was a Broadway play called The Unthinkable Molly Brown that was made. And it was also a movie. So she is a real fucking badass bitch on that boat who survived. Mm-hmm. She survived to like the mid-30s. And then she died.
Yeah. But the reason why they called her unsinkable is because she was on a number of ships, if I'm not mistaken.
She was on another ship before the Titanic.
Went down, not just the Titanic.
There's another lady that's not Molly Brown, because I thought that was about Molly, but I didn't really kind of see that. Because what I saw, there's this lady who was like a nurse or a waitress kind of deal on the boat, and it went down and she survived. Mm-hmm. And she still worked again, like maybe 2-3 months later, and from a sister ship of Titanic, and that boat went down, and she survived that one as well.
I didn't hear about that one, but
yeah, there's this lady. It's called the Titanic. Look her up. I can't remember what her name, but if you just type in the Titanic lady, her story will pop up.
Okay, interesting.
For as long as I have known, for many, many years, that's the reason why history calls her the unsinkable Molly Brown, is because she was on, I think, 3 different ships that sank, and her ass survived all of them.
Like during that, she's like, "Oh, I've done this before."
At that time, I'm gonna ask if Molly's on the ship, because if it is, I'm not getting on.
Whatever, if it is, I'm gonna find Molly, because obviously she knows how to survive.
I'm sticking with you.
She's gonna survive.
So yeah.
Did you?
I saw another movie where I believe she was a character, but in that movie she died. It was a Gene Hackman movie. I can't remember what it's called right now, but she saved some people in that movie. I could be mistaken about the character, but I'm pretty sure it's Molly Brown.
Okay.
As according to my mom. Mama, I'm quoting you right now because you're the one that told me about Molly Brown.
In your post-it notes. Your little post-it notes, if that is
about it later.
But
she's already know.
Like for real survivors, I think one of them who survived, a girl who survived, she was in the lower class and is known for sneaking up to upper class, kind of like what Jack Dawson did. Mm-hmm. So she survived to tell that tale. And did you know that when James Cameron wrote Titanic, after he wrote it and gave all the characters their names, there was an actual passenger name by the name of J. Dawson that he didn't know after he named Jack Dawson. Mm-hmm. So he died.
His name's like Joseph Dawson. It wasn't even Jack.
Yeah.
But
his gravesite is in Nova Scotia, which fans of Titanic go to visit and give tribute as if he is the real Jack Dawson.
He's like, I don't know who this Leo is. It's happened 100 years ago.
I'll never let go, Jack. So totes for him.
Yeah. All right, we got to talk about Mr. Cameron for a minute. Have we done a James Cameron movie before? I don't think we have.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, James Cameron. Originally, James is Canadian. Yeah. However, his father is an engineer. And when James was 17, they moved to Brea, California, in Orange County, because his father got a job with, I believe, no, not Southern California Edison. That was Kevin Costner.
Get your facts straight.
But they moved to Brea, California, where James went to Sonora High School. He dropped out. He went to continuation school and got his degree. He went to Fullerton JC and then Cal State Fullerton and then dropped out again. At the time, he was studying physics, I want to say, something like that. But ultimately, those careers did not work out for him, so he started getting actual jobs. He went through 3 years of college, and in his junior year, he dropped out. And so he was like driving trucks and doing all these things. Meanwhile, he would go to the USC library and check out books on like 3D technology and visual effects. He was always into that kind of stuff. And so if he could, he would Xerox that shit. But if they wouldn't allow him, he would like write notes on it and stuff.
One more thing. His brother also worked on this movie.
Did he?
He helped come up with the underwater camera that they use.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm sure his brother probably helped him with all the Avatar shit too.
Yeah, and this is not his first underwater movie.
No.
So he did The Abyss before this movie, which I think is an underrated movie. I think it's fucking fantastic.
Okay.
That is a really great movie that will be on the show eventually.
I don't think I've seen it.
Ed Harris and what's her name? Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
No, wait, not Sigourney. That's Aliens. My bad. You gave me Champagne.
Also a great movie.
Also a great movie.
Champagne's supposed to help your
James
memory.
Cameron.
Yep. James Cameron, he sees his movie the way he, wants to do it.
Yes.
And he wanted to do this movie with no music.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even want music coming up during the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He wanted it to feel like you were there.
Like, okay.
But he got his mind changed. So
By the studio?
By James Horner, who also worked on the music for Alien with him. And he got together with a writer and Celine Dion and came up with a demo of My Heart Will Go On.
Nice.
And gave it to James Cameron. And he was just like, all right, okay, I like it. Let's use it. And the song that we hear is the demo.
Wow.
There was only ever one take of My Heart Will Go On.
Damn, Celine.
And she didn't even want to do it.
We seen her as in concert last year?
Oh, I hate you.
And she was rattling off something. She's like, "That's easy for me. It's no problem."
Nothing.
When she sang that, which of course they saved that song for the last encore at her concert. We cried because it was she was on a platform that raised up into the air. There was a ring of water around her, and she's just like this beautiful diva. And
Vegas, yo.
If you guys should watch James, you guys should watch James Gordon's carpool karaoke with her, because they do it in Vegas, and they sing that song together on a boat in front of the Bellagio fountains. It's amazing. It's worth the YouTube search. But yes, props to Celine and the composer for Titanic, because
and her husband, he convinced her to do it.
That's right.
She didn't want the song and didn't want to do the song.
Really?
And he was like, "Come on, Celine, do it,
please." It is your day of luck.
But the music in the movie played a huge role.
Absolutely. From the music to the violins playing as the ship was going down.
Can I give you a fun fact on that?
God.
Was it true? Was it real?
It was real.
It was real. Absolutely.
There was a band of 5 or 6 that was scheduled to, play during dinner and play during blah, blah, blah.
Wedding dance.
And they made them
music to drown by. Now I know I'm in first class.
So they have them playing to keep the people calm. Now, I don't know if they played up until the water hit their motherfucking ankles, but they did play for quite a long time, probably until, I don't know, maybe the lights went out. I don't know. But they played for a long time, and some of their bodies were found. At least 3 of them.
12:37, the RMS Orpathia responds to Titanic's distress call.
And they're like, "Hey, girl, see you in 4 hours."
Yeah. The only one closer. Says they can be here in 4 hours.
Time out. There actually was a ship that was closer. It was called the Californian.
Motherfucking
Californians.
I know. And they could see the flares. And the only thing that they did to respond was hold up a lantern. And they never went to go help them. So, yeah, they're also awful, awful people for not going to go save some people that are in this freezing-ass water. Shit, what was I talking about before I started that one?
Celine.
The
music, the violin.
Oh, the violins. Okay, so they did find some of the men's bodies, and they found the guy who played the violin. I guess the last one, he was like, all right, it was an honor.
It's been a privilege to play with you tonight.
Yeah, him. They found him, and his violin was strapped to his body. And they end up selling that at auction for like $1.8 million or some crazy shit like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, they sold a lot of things.
Who did? Who gets that money?
Whoever owned it. Like, I think that
whoever found it, basically.
I think that they gave it to the family at one point, and the family sold it, and then they sold it, and then they sold it, and then finally it's on auction.
A collector.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that went up for auction. Also, life preservers. And life preservers with like blood.
They don't make them like that no more.
Yeah, with blood on them, sold higher.
Blood stained, basically.
Blood stained. The menu, like I said, was pulled up. There was just a lot of things that would end up being sold on auction. The numbers that were from the safety boats were also sold because people would pull off the number of whatever safety boat they were on.
How do you know if it's real or not?
I don't know, man. I'm not an appraiser. I'm just reading.
Right?
This is an Antique Roadshow.
Dude, there's so much to know about this movie and about the history of the Titanic.
I just want to say my head already feels better from letting some of this information.
Yeah, you almost want to decompress most of it, which I've been letting y'all do for a little bit. Because shit.
Still going good. The boat. We're still on water.
They're still on water, yes. But more about James Cameron and this movie. I will say this movie holds the record along with 2 other movies for the most Oscars from a single movie. 11. 11 motherfucking Oscars.
But if I'm not mistaken, it was nominated for 16?
I believe so.
But it won 11.
Yes.
And it is one of the only movies to win that many awards and not win any for Best Actor or Actresses.
Right.
So.
Which, I mean, they did a hell of a job. Don't get me wrong. I don't know who won that year, but at the same time, You
want to hear a fun fact? Fun fact!
Sure.
About that.
I'm not surprised that somebody won the Oscar over them.
Leo and Kate did not like their performances in this movie.
Sure.
Wow.
Neither one of them. Kate said that her American accent was awful and that she could have acted better. Leo called himself a young punk, and he does not really like watching this movie.
I can understand that.
So I understand that too. I heard that a long, maybe like 5-6 years after this movie, he said something like that. And I was like, what is wrong with him? How could he ever think that he didn't do good? But now, like 20 years later, I'm like, oh yeah, you are way better than whatever this shit was. Like this movie, if the special effects weren't that great, then the movie wouldn't have been that great. Which
they are. Oh my God.
They're really good. The costumes, the sets, the people, the extras, everybody is down to a T, is awesome. But I mean, like, if it wasn't that awesome and it was just based on Leo and Kate, then it probably wouldn't have been.
Yeah, and these actors don't remember watching the movie. They remember making it, and they remember how they were feeling and how much they
went through,
they went through to make the movie. They see the takes that they did, and it was like, really, they used that take? Wow.
Did you know this is the first movie that 2 actors were nominated for the same role?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Young Rose, old Rose.
Nice.
Both nominated.
Yes, that's true.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to get sweaty.
And old Rose,
she
was 82 when she did this movie?
Yep.
Or
do you want the exact?
82?
I want to
82,
say
84?
she was 87.
Just kidding?
86.
Oh,
86.
damn.
She was 86 when she filmed this, playing a 100-year-old person, and they had to use a lot of makeup on her face.
Yeah, they still had to make her look super old.
And in 2010, she did die at the age of 100.
100 years old. We'll get to her. We're going to get to the actors. Something that we should talk about is all the technology and all the things that they did, the special effects, the visual effects, all that good stuff. Before we dive in.
Stick it to me. I'm like, hot. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this movie is made and came out in 1997, and a lot of the things that they did in this movie are commonplace now. Like, you hear the term motion capture now. Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers practically invented it. Rotoscoping, things of that nature. That's what they did. So a lot of this, like you said, they did build the Titanic, at least one side of it, but the other side they did not build. They didn't build the port side. They didn't finish it. Yeah,
they also built. You can legitimately see into it.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube video of sped up time lapse of the crew building the Titanic.
I promise you, they did not build the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all digitally.
I mean, it's a really fun time-lapse video to watch.
He's correct. They didn't build it all.
They didn't build the whole thing.
They had to build a lot of it in pieces because of the tilting and stuff. Like, they used cranes to tilt. They built
cranes. They built multiple things of that nature. Right. They built miniature models.
They sure did.
Of the finished Titanic as well as the sunken Titanic. Mm-hmm. They filmed the sunken Titanic model upside down in order to... I'm going to just rattle all this shit off because we got to get it out. So that being said, the reason why we know so well that they did not finish the other side is because when they filmed everybody getting on the boat, they actually had to flip the screen afterwards. So everybody is... Their shirts, if they say like White Star on them, it's written backwards. Because the fact of the matter is, they built the starboard side. Mm-hmm. However, when the ship left, it was on the port side.
Gotcha.
And James Cameron was so adamant about it that they had to flip it to make it look like it was the port side. However, they had to build the starboard side because that's the side that got hit by the iceberg.
Right.
And so everything got flipped. Not only the T-shirts, but where people were standing, what hand they were holding. All of it got flipped in order to look correct when they actually flipped the screen in post-production. Mm-hmm. Not only that, a lot of it is digital. Yes. So like the people waving by is in front of a green screen from the dock, and then they put the ship in there. Or there's trucks and shit down below, and the bottom is not finished, and there's mountains of Baja California behind the ship, and all of that is digitally removed, and then they add in the water, they add in the people, they add in all of that stuff, and they use motion capture to do so, including the stunt people.
Yeah.
Yes. Just people walking on the deck, minding their own business.
That too.
They did those so that it would look like it was real people, even though it wasn't. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of things for this movie.
Yes, they did. We were talking about that earlier. That scene, or that shot, I should say, where the water is crashing through all the doors and the camera's moving super quick. That's a miniaturized thing.
Yeah.
And they were very worried about that because that whole shot is like half a second.
Yeah.
They were worried that they were moving the camera way too fast. But when it slowed down, Cameron loved it.
Yeah. It looks cool, and that's actually shot outside. It's not even like in anything. It's like in a parking lot.
What are you talking about?
The doors flipping with the water and stuff.
Well, what they did was they funneled water in these giant tubes down below, and that was a miniature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They did that shit in a parking lot? Why? Do it on a soundstage.
The water crashing to the staircase, that was one shot. That was one take.
Yes, it was.
So that's a fucking expensive set that they can't rebuild and reset.
I mean, think about it.
The one where John Jacob Astor is holding on to the banister and the water starts falling through the top
dome.
Cause
Glass?
yeah, the dome thing, whatever it is.
Dome glass.
And they literally called it out like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then the water came crashing down.
He didn't even have time to rehearse that. He was so nervous.
Fuck yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
You know, you can't rehearse something like that. You rehearse a one take like that, and it's going to come out bad.
Yeah, I want the real feeling.
Yeah, and they had
a lot of
multiple
times
cameras.
the water was really cold on them filming this.
Mm-hmm.
So like the scene where Rose takes her jacket off, she has the axe and she's going to go save Jack.
Uh-huh.
As soon as she gets into the water, she goes, ah!
That's a real reaction.
That's a real reaction.
That shit was
James
cold.
Cameron wanted the real temperature of the water when the Titanic sank.
Yes.
That's why
Poor
Rose looks so
thing.
goddamn pale.
Yeah, but like cast and crew members or cast, they had wetsuits on under their costumes. Crew members had to wear wetsuits.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kate Winslet refused to wear a wetsuit because she wanted to know.
She didn't refuse. James didn't want her in one. Because it had to appear as though, because she's in and out of the water constantly,
Sure.
it can't look like she's wearing a wetsuit.
You can wear a half wetsuit.
I don't know.
Well, and then when they're
Yeah.
fully in the water, she has a jacket on, so she could wear a wetsuit. I think there were times where she chose not to because she wanted
Possibly.
to feel
Possibly.
Because that's pretty fucked up to be like, everybody wear a wetsuit, not you, bitch.
Yeah.
And you're wearing like you're the most. I would turn down wearing the wetsuit for the scene where I'm supposed to be on the door because I'm supposed to be like literally holding on to the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't, but everything else I'd be like, yeah, back that up.
Yeah.
The only time that I would wear a wetsuit in that situation is if I know that it's not going to be seen. If I know that I'm not getting out of the water. But if I'm getting up and going towards the stairs, or I'm opening the door to get to Jack,
you could wear a wetsuit under what you're wearing right now.
I'm talking about if I was Rose.
Yeah.
If I was Rose and I was in that dress,
you don't have to have long sleeves, and some of them stop at the knees. So I mean, like, it is extremely possible for her to wear one, and they can make them skin color so that they wouldn't even show through. So there is a way for her to wear it. If they could spend a fucking how much money on the stupid heart of the ocean, they can spend some money on a fucking wetsuit for the bitch.
Agreed.
But if she didn't want to do it, she didn't want to do it. That's on her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because she got sick.
Or she got pneumonia.
When she should have just wore a wetsuit. Another thing that they did for the people, which I don't think I would have the water as cold as he had it because of I don't want people to get sick. He had jacuzzis all around the set for people to get out of the cold
Take
water
breaks.
and get in the warm water.
Yeah.
A lot of the women, they had real corsets on and were not able to dress themselves. Were not even able to sit sometimes. So they would have these long, like, stand-up chairs for the ladies to, like, lean against because they couldn't sit
Fucking
down.
insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What
They
did
went
for
through
this
a
movie.
lot for
And people
this
talk
movie.
about how cold this water is. They don't actually ever bother talking about how hot it was as well. When they shot the shit in Mexico, the water was too warm to where they constantly had to redo the makeup and shit as well. So it all depends on which scenes they were shooting. I don't know if that's where they shot the whole Titanic, where people were jumping off and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
which
pretty
they really were.
I'm pretty sure that they did film it in Baja it was at the Fox studio. That's where I went and saw the sets. I don't know why they are there because it's a Paramount movie, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Anyway, so they did film it in a 350,000 gallon tank for those freezing corpse, and they would use this wax for their hair to make it look like it was frozen, and they would use this powder that once it reacted to water crystallized, so it looks like their faces are frozen.
So some of that stuff, I think that's where it was actually like not cold water.
That's fine.
Because then they would digitally put in the breath.
Right.
So that's probably where the water was warm and where they had to do the wax and all that stuff and color correct and make them look pale.
I remember reading on those days when they were in the tanks, James Cameron was so strict on the actors, and he needed to get what he wanted, where he wouldn't let them take bathroom breaks. So
there's so much pee in that water.
Yeah, in an interview, Leo and Kate admitted, like, yeah, we peed in there. Like,
I pee in every pool. No. What if you gotta like this shit? I'd be like, look, Cameron, you don't want a Hershey Kiss rolling up into your scene, right?
Yes, I sharded.
Oh, we're starting to sink.
5
As
floods.
we're talking about the water.
Yep. The boilers the boiler room has been eliminated.
The lights are still on. Ooh, speaking of the boiler room.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Give me that.
So that boiler engine room. Mm-hmm. So when you see it in the movie, yes, they did build part of it.
2.5.
Yeah, and then like they digitally like added in the rest.
Yes, they did.
But all of those background people in there are only 5 feet tall. They purposely cast short background people to make the engines, the boilers look massive
giant.
Because in real life they were massive. So James Cameron wanted to show that scale.
Sure.
So all those guys in there are only 5 feet. 5 feet or under.
You want another?
The boiler room. The boiler room.
Do you want to know another fun fact about
yes.
that? Not only did they have short people to make it look big, they only built 2.5 of the, I don't know,
the giant furnaces.
Things, yeah. And then the rest of it was a mirror.
Yeah, digitally added it because it had to look like the endless rows of the boiler room.
Yes, and they really went on a boat that was made around that time and had the functioning shit so that they could... Some of the scenes are from that boat. Mm-hmm. Of the... I don't know what the hell those things are called. Moving.
The propellers.
Not the propellers.
She wanted to see the propellers.
Ooh, they're showing us the inside.
The water's starting to flood, yo. Water is coming up in the hallways of steerage.
Yeah. It's coming up the E-deck.
Before I forget, we got to talk about these stunt people.
Yes.
Because in this movie, there are a number of stunts, starting with the people diving off the side of the Titanic. Mm-hmm. They really are diving off.
Yeah.
However, they're diving from like 40 feet up, which we have done before at like 20 feet.
30.
And that shit is... No, I was like, compromise, 25. Even at that height, that water hurts.
Hurts when you hit it.
Yeah, it really does. And so like you said, the water stage, it had a trough around the ship that was deep enough for them to dive down. The rest of it was about 3 feet.
Yeah.
Not only that, each one of these stunt people had to know exactly where they were diving or jumping off, because you're technically not diving. And they had to remember that they're acting here. So as soon as you dive down, you got to start swimming outwards because somebody else is coming behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to dive looking like they're panicking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm panicking.
That's just one stunt.
What about the stunt people who are like falling as the end of it's tipping?
They're on a line from the very top.
Everybody was hooked on. Everybody was wired. Amazing. All that shit. They rubbered up everything.
They did.
So...
And the
deck
boat is
really
made
out of rubber, essentially.
Cool.
It is really tilting. They had a line going from the top to the bottom, and the people were attached to them. So they're falling, but they're falling in a certain spot.
Yes, and even though it looks chaotic, every stunt person knows exactly, to a degree, where they're falling, because they really are falling.
Yeah.
And so they can control to a certain extent, but the only things that they can hurt themselves on is other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they rehearsed that shit and made sure that they knew exactly where they were falling, and it looks great.
What about those few guys that like hit and they look like they ricochet? Oh.
Back to Jason's Tech Corner.
Jason's Tech Corner.
So, like I said earlier, motion capture.
Yep.
So, there is a shot in this movie that is known as the toilet paper shot.
Ooh.
The toilet paper shot.
Okay.
So, they literally drop a roll of toilet paper from the top of the poop deck to the bottom and have the camera track it in order to rotoscope a man falling all the way down in post-production. So they follow the toilet paper all the way down, and that's how they add in digitally the motion capture of the man falling.
Interesting.
Not only that, the stunt people who were actually diving off, obviously, so when the Titanic is straight bobbing up and down, the top of it where Jack and Rose were is 80 feet high, which they really were up there.
Fuck.
And apparently they're not afraid of heights or anything, because they were up there and they did a great job.
Are you afraid of my height?
Yes, he is.
I'm afraid of 8 feet high.
Remember the video of him screaming his lungs out ziplining in Hawaii?
Yeah, let's bring that up for a moment, because that has everything to do with this movie.
I am not, especially if I know I'm like harnessed in.
Can we get back to...
Yes, 80 feet high, Titanic.
So, what they did, you'll notice, is each time a stunt person dives off, if it's a hero stunt, like when the guy falls off, hits the propeller, and starts swiveling around and around, you'll notice that they only show him falling off, and then they cut to a scene looking downwards.
Right.
Therefore, that is motion captured.
Okay.
So it's digitally added in afterwards. Also, there were fake dummy bodies that the stunt people had with them. So you'll notice like 2 people falling at the same time. It's a real person and a dummy person falling on each other.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Because you said you can only hurt yourself on someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if these guys are like using the dummies as like cushioning when they fall and shit. But yeah, and like the guy is sliding. Every time I see the guy sliding down the deck, like the one that's sliding all the way down, it reminds me of Grease when the girl's being dragged across the gym. And she's got her hands up. She's like, woo! Doing the hand jive.
She's born a hand jive.
We did that on the Grace episode.
We did. Can I give you a real fact?
Give me a real fact. I'm done. I'm done with all the tech stuff for a minute.
Okay. So you know the cute old couple that you see in the bed?
Oh, sad facts.
They're real people. Sad
They are.
fact. Did you guys know they're real?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're real people. They are the owners of Macy's department store.
Yeah, New York.
In New York. And they were really on the boat.
Yep.
And he was helping women and children onto boats. And when it came to time for his wife to get on the boat, she said, I'm not getting on this boat.
Yeah, she said, we live together, we die together.
And we die together. Bad boys for life.
Oh. Shout out to Martin and Will. We hope your movie is coming out soon, and it's going to be fantastic because we love you.
Yeah, so they stayed together, and they didn't get off of the boat. So that is a nod to them. Their scenes, they were going to have more scenes in the movie that were cut. So we only get to see that.
Yeah, I think that was enough, though.
It
laying in bed
had its effect.
It did have its effect more than, seeing this cute-ass couple.
Mm-hmm. And we're back. Sorry about that, people. Technical difficulties.
Can I sing it? Sad fact.
Give me a sad fact.
So we were just talking about the old couple.
Right. So this
based
is
off of the real
fact?
Yeah. Well, in the movie, the father is shown putting the 2 girls on the boat with their mother, and he says it'll only be for a short while, and they're crying. It's only for a little while.
I'm gonna take the boat that house for the daddies. This is for the mummies and the children.
It's based off of a true event that happened from a daughter that survived that. She had to say that was the last time she saw her dad.
Yep.
So that's an homage to him.
Mm-hmm. Hold mommy's hand and be a good girl.
Are you gonna lie to your kids?
That's what you're supposed to do. Right. When do you tell kids truth? You don't tell them truth till they are older.
You're a good liar.
Me? Yeah, I'm a great liar. I tell the girls.
I think I saw a D.L. Hughley sketch where he's talking shit. Because he knows that the man is going to have to go down with the shit if he's going on a cruise with his wife or something like that. Yeah. He's like, this is all your fault. He's like, in the water, this is all your fault.
Can I talk about that?
Oh.
Yes. In real life.
Hell yeah.
So, Jay Birch Ismay, the dude,
Dr. Ismay, motherfucker.
Yes. He was the manager director for the White Star Line. And he was always looking for a new headline, just like they said. Mm-hmm. He used to ride on the maiden voyage of every boat that the White Star Line had. And he did survive by getting on a boat. And when he got back to the States, he had to go in front of the U.S. Senate. And the press basically harassed him and criticized him for
getting on a boat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Him, I feel like, yes, he's the person that you should criticize because it was his boat. Mm-hmm. Technically, I mean, it was his boat. You should go down with the ship because you're the one who...
The idea of the Titanic was his.
His money. It was him who pressured to cut corners on the supplies that they used for the boat. That would have made it harder for it to sink, but they didn't. He wasn't the only one. There was a Japanese man who also was on the boat and survived by getting on a boat. And when he got back to the States, everybody criticized him for surviving and getting on a boat when there were women and children who didn't make it. Mm-hmm. And so when he went back to Japan, he got it 10 times worse, where like he was dishonored basically the rest of his life.
Sure.
For this being on this boat. I also read that there was one black man on this boat, and he was married to a Swedish woman, and they had 2 daughters on the boat with them, plus she was pregnant. And the only reason why they got on the Titanic in the first place is because the boat that they were scheduled to go on would not allow him to eat with his family. Ooh. And the Titanic would allow him to eat with his family, so they switched boats. And his family survived, and he did not.
Right.
Yeah.
So Bruce Ismay, I guess we can start with his bitch ass. Mm-hmm. Played by Jonathan Hyde, who we're going to talk about again. Yep. We're not going to get into him in detail this time around, because there's a lot of fucking actors in this movie.
We all do Jumanji.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, that would be a movie that we'll talk about Jonathan Hyde. But he does a great job in this because you truly hate his ass. You truly, truly hate Bruce Ismay from Jump Street. Like, he loves accepting all the accolades, but refuses to take any of the responsibility.
Like, the boat is sinking. They're having the meeting. He's like, turn the engine back on. This thing can't sink. And he's like, I guarantee you it can sink. Mm-hmm. And that whole scene, I don't know about...
She's made of iron, sir. I assure you, she can.
She can. I don't know
she will.
If anybody else, especially our youngins who don't know what it's like to live with VHS, but if you are like me, then you watch this on VHS many times that you know exactly where the tape ends.
The first tape ends?
And I do know exactly where the first tape ends.
What's the line?
The captain goes... Well, it looks like you are going to get
your headlines. I do believe you will get your headlines, Mr. Ismay.
Yep. And
cut off.
Then
back.
You got to get back up. You got to go take the other tape, put that one in, and then it's Rose and fucking Cal arguing in the room.
I don't know. He whoops her ass.
But, yes.
That's a fucked up way to start the second tape.
Sure.
I mean, Billy Zane looking at her and then backhands her.
That's true. The second tape does start kind of weird because the first one ends perfectly. Like, you're like, oh shit. That means we are for sure going down. There's no saving this boat. Mm-hmm. You know, we got 2 hours and then we in the water. How are we doing? We're still floating. Lights are still on, so that's good. Yeah.
So, like you said, starting from the beginning, Bruce Ismay, they're at... and Rose sees right through him. She sees that he's just a aristocratic asshole.
That's why she says her Freud line.
Yeah, she's like, you got a little dick, dude.
Which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And
Freud, who is he? Is he a passenger?
Is he a passenger? Do I know him? Well, he actually improv that line. Freud. Who is he? Is he a passenger?
Nice. There's some good improvisation.
There is some, and that's one of them. And I love that because it just shows... Mm-hmm. How dumb you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know how big Freud was then. Like, Freud is a huge thing now that we pretty much everyone knows like what his theories were.
These great people of history were mentioned briefly, like Freud and Picasso.
She's like, what is his name? Picasso or something?
Mm-hmm. This was in their heyday when they were like coming up and building their reputation.
I did not look, but is there a Picasso on the boat?
Pablo Picasso.
I know.
No, a painting.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Probably.
Yes, Pablo Picasso was on the
You didn't know that
I didn't understand the question.
You didn't know he sang?
Is there a Monet on the boat?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I do know.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Yeah. I do know that there was one car on the boat. car that Rose and Jack
Oh, yeah.
have sex in, was a real car, and it was there. There was only one.
European.
Model T?
Mm-hmm.
No, the Model T was the first American factory car, but the first actual combustion cars were made in Europe.
I didn't write down the name of the fucking car because
it's probably a Rolls Royce or something.
I don't give a shit. It's old
It was
as
a car.
fuck.
It was one car.
So
One
before
car.
we get off Mr. Bruce Ismay, he's an asshole. We hate him from the beginning. It is his fault that we're going so fast in the first place because he has not ordered the last 4 boilers lit, Captain Smith. And Bruce Ismay convinces him to do so because it's Captain Smith's last voyage, and it's also that Titanic's maiden voyage. We must give them something new to print. I want them to marvel at her speed.
Isn't that how all movies happen?
Yeah, there's always one fucking
No, I'm talking about there's always
dumbass.
Oh, I got 2 weeks till retirement, then I'm done. I got one more job, and we gonna do this job, and then I'm done. And then you die.
Yeah.
His last one, he's like, all right, I just got to make it to America, and I can retire and be happy. And he can't even do that. As soon as he knows the boat's about to sink, you can see it going in his head like, fuck, I have to go down with this goddamn boat because there's not enough boats, and I can't.
I think he feels a sense of responsibility, though.
He does.
He feels the weight of his decisions.
He does, but you see that, when he comes, he was asleep. He was asleep when it crashed, so he wasn't there, doing the response and at the helms of everything.
But remember, he got the warning ahead of time that
his arrogance is blinding him as well.
They got warnings, quite a few warnings from passing ships telling him, "Yo, hey girl,
there's the icebergs."
That's why Lewis gets so upset. Louis Bodine is like, there he is, and he's got the iceberg warning in his fucking hand. Excuse me, his hand.
He has it in his
He's
hand.
ordering more steam,
and they were only going like
20 knots.
Yeah, they were going
Something like that.
They were. I think it was
they were making excellent time according to
They
Captain
were only
Smith.
1 notch down from the fastest the boat could go. So they were fucking.
They were hauling ass,
and
they can't turn that giant fucking boat.
No, he's like, why aren't they turning? They are. It's just
too
a big
small
bitch,
of a
man.
rudder.
Yeah, no anchor could slow that boat down.
Yeah,
no, hell no.
Wait, I have a fun fact.
Of course you do.
Real fun fact.
We've got so many fun facts that we're jumping on each other.
I know. Okay, so I'm sorry. I have a bar here. I can't put my feet. Okay, so
I got you, boo boo. Go ahead, tell your fun fact.
Here's my fun fact. So they didn't have binoculars, and they talk about, hey, did you ever find the binoculars or whatever? That is true. There was one of the.
You like that?
Oh, jiggling.
Sounds like a bell.
Ding, 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 ding. There was a guy who was ahead of, like I said, lookouts or whatever. And right before the boat takes off, they, I guess, fire him and hire somebody else. But when he got let go, he never gave the keys back. So the binoculars are supposed to be locked in a locker that is in the ship.
Damn.
That I don't know if it could have helped him or not.
Fuck yeah, it could have. I mean, it was foggy as hell.
It was foggy, and the water was
there was
calm.
no wind.
And there was no wind. So when the water is calm during the ice, you can't see the water hitting it. And that is one thing that helps you notice that there's an iceberg. And they couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because it was a calm night.
Yeah.
Which now we know that when it is like that you need to watch out for icebergs because that's the sign that there is going to be icebergs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Really
Slow the fuck down, people.
And I always thought, like, where the fuck? How did they have binoculars?
Yeah.
Were they even invented yet? Like, those are the things I used to always think.
No.
But yeah, they were. Just somebody done fucked up. Oh shit! What's that one say?
114 lifeboat 6 stops lowering after it is realized that there is not enough time to get it down into the water.
Jeez. Oh shit! We're sinking.
Damn, yo. It looks like it's at about 6 degrees of tilt right now.
Okay, yeah.
Bro.
This video is really cool, you guys. This is
it's super
cool
cool
background.
So,
you want to throw a Titanic themed party?
I was about to say,
put this up on the TV.
I used to throw house parties, and I would put the burning log on TV all the time. Yeah. So, you know,
that's always fun.
This might be my new thing. The sinking Titanic.
Louis Bodine, before I get off of him, is played by a man named Louis Abernathy, because Louis Abernathy is not an actor. Louis Abernathy is a friend of James Cameron's who he wrote this role modeled after Louis, and he couldn't find anybody to play it the right way, and therefore he hired Louis Abernathy to play Louis Botey.
Do you know who I would have probably cast?
Who? Me. Say me.
You, duh. Even though you were only like 12.
Liar.
I was only 10. I don't know. No, I would.
I could see Hoffman in this.
Oh, you just
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
stole my
There it
person.
is.
That's who I would do. One, he kind of looks like him, and he reminds me of the character that he plays in Twister.
Yeah.
So I would have totally have picked him as well.
The extreme.
Yep. You're like, oh, this is good.
Love that guy. Should we dive into this cast?
I thought we were slowly doing that. Let's
I don't
let's
know.
keep
I
it
guess
cracking.
so.
All right, go ahead.
Somebody that we should mention very quickly is Susie Amos. Have you met my granddaughter Lizzie? She takes care of me.
Go
Go ahead and give that fun
I only
fact.
have one.
Give that fun fact. Throw it out there. I know
She
what
plays
it
the
is.
granddaughter,
Mm-hmm.
and she met and fell in love with James Cameron on the set of this movie, even though he was still married and not divorced from his fourth wife.
Damn.
So this makes his fifth wife and her second husband, and they have 3 kids together. And this is his longest marriage. They're still together.
They are
To
still
this
together.
day. Chill.
Yes, they are.
I did not know that until literally today. But yeah, I guess I never looked up him and his bitch.
She had a decent career before this movie. She was a working actor. She only did a couple of projects after this movie, and I think she retired after they started having kids.
All right.
But I liked her.
Can
thought
I
she did
just
a great
say
job.
something?
Yeah.
I really am getting upset hearing how these women are like stopping their careers to raise kids. But in all of the actors that we've talked about, you've only said one man that has done that.
Who's that?
Oh,
Rick Moranis?
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
And
Yes.
that was because his wife passed.
And that was only because his wife passed.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that, you guys. That's pretty fucked up. We're
It is,
losing
absolutely.
fantastic artists because families want to grow, which is fine. But men never have to sacrifice their career. I just want to say.
In this day and age, I believe that it is the decision of the couple. Like, I'll tell you right now, if me and Ashley had kids tomorrow, I would be the one at home. Because that is the more responsible thing for the two of us to do.
I agree.
Because then it is not about our personal careers. It is no longer, we're not first, that child is first. And her career is much more stable than mine is as an actor and as a filmmaker.
Well, I mean, I understand you're with James Cameron, so you literally never have to work another day in your motherfucking life. And if you do want to work, you can work on one of his movies.
I'm sure she could have. And I'm sure...
I
can't speak for James because he's got a reputation for being difficult to work with in the first place. So I'm sure he is controlling.
I am not saying... I'm talking literally about her, but we did Dirty Dancing the other week, and literally every woman you talked about, you end up
And
saying
that was
that
at
they
that
had kids
time.
and stopped.
That was at that time, though. Because, I mean, Angelina still works. Mila Kunis still works.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman still works.
I know.
All these women nowadays still
It's
work.
true.
It is 100% their choice
I mean, Jada
whether
never
they
stopped
retire
working.
or not. Exactly.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't like hearing that anymore.
I mean,
It's starting to bug me.
Thems were the times,
Oh
I
my
guess
god,
you
you
might
guys!
say.
The front of the boat.
Damn. The front of the boat is underwater. The back end is starting to rise.
Starting to rise. All right, so we got to knock this out.
Can we talk about my favorite character in the movie?
Yes.
Tommy.
Tommy.
We talked about him, or I played him in the scene last
Oh, I
week.
was like, when did we talk about this?
I played him in the scene last week. However, I fucked up his last name. So in the scene, I said his name was Tommy O'Reilly, I believe.
Was it O'Brien?
Because it's not O'Brien either.
Another Irish last name.
What is his last name? Let me see. I forgot already.
I think I just wrote Tommy because I didn't get it.
Tommy Ryan.
Oh,
O'Ryan.
close.
Sounds better.
Tommy O'Ryan sounds better. I'm pretty sure I said Tommy O'Reilly last week. But he's played by Jason Barry. And I fucking love what he did with this movie.
He did good.
Like, he is funny, he's charismatic, he steals some scenes, and he's so present in so many of these shots that Cameron continually uses him. And also, I don't cry when Jack dies. I don't cry when the boat is going down, or these montages, or when the violins are playing and it's like the old people are in their bed or anything.
Oh, that right there, Waterworks.
I cry when Tommy dies.
I mean, because his was senseless. He didn't need to die.
Did
his
not
was an accident.
Deserve to die.
Right.
You know, he got pushed and the guy got scared and he shot him. I get that. But those old people in the bed.
Don't get me wrong, that stuff is heartbreaking.
Tucking in the kids. You just see people like, you know that it was fucked up. You know that people were stuck down there because they locked the gates. You know that, people were scrambling to save themselves and their... I mean, just...
When the mom's telling the stories to the kids and stuff, it's heartbreaking.
I just
it
want
really
to cry every
is.
time. Because not because of the movie, just because I know it's real.
Yeah.
That's what makes me so sad. It's like, fuck, these people really had to... Somebody went through this.
Yeah.
This
and
is
he's
real.
an advocate the whole time for... He is almost like the spokesman for the lower class.
Right.
And he is a good person. He befriends Jack and Fabrizio, and Fabrizio. And they become friends. Like, Fabrizio is right there, and he is furious when he's shot.
Yeah.
Like
they were
he
best friends
blames
forever.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like, they had been friends for years.
Yeah, he's like, you murderer, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, bastardo.
Yeah, what the fuck did you
And he's
do?
also got some of the best lines in this movie.
He does.
First class dogs come all the way down here to take a shite. Or when they're finally getting out of stairs, like, if this is the direction the rats are going, that's good enough for me.
That's good enough for me. I love that.
Music to drown by. No, I know I'm in first
I
class.
love him. The guy's like, yeah, take a vest. And he's like, give it a shit. Pretty much throws that on. He's told me I would have not left my cabin without the thing on.
Yeah.
I do have a fun fact.
About Tommy?
Yeah. One of his big scenes is the bench scene.
Yeah.
Where they rip that motherfucking bench up and they knock that gate down.
Yep. It's fighting with that fucker. For God's sake, there are women and children down here.
Yeah. I'd be like, there's humans down here.
I'm rooting for him the whole fucking time.
I just don't think that even if my job depended on it, even though it doesn't matter because the boat's sinking.
The boat is fucking sinking.
I'm going to let these people out because I'm not going to have that on my conscience.
Exactly.
If I make it, I'm definitely not going to have that survivor guilt, knowing that I didn't save anybody.
Not only that,
myself.
your ass is down there with them,
You're with
motherfucker.
them. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get your ass
Get
up there and
out.
get to safety because you're going to die too down there.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that scene, they got injured. They injured themselves while filming that. I don't know if it was that they, like...
Maybe they were gripping the bench wrong
I think that...
as they were ramming it forward.
I feel like what they end up doing was... Maybe the bench was, like, really nailed on there. Because you see them, they rip it.
They rip it, yeah.
Because Leo, he, like, throws out his shoulder.
He's in the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's from trying to rip it up, not necessarily
okay.
pulling
you can
it
pull
through.
out something from ripping it up, not from forcing it.
That's what I'm saying. So I think
gotcha.
that's what it happened. And Leo, he threw out his shoulder. And Tommy, he fucking hit himself hard on the fucking chin with the bench.
Yeah.
So they hurt themselves on doing that scene. And when I watched it today, I was like, well, maybe they really did nail that motherfucker. I felt like when they were making
the way that
these
they
sets,
rip it up, I believe that they did, and they just muscle it out.
Yeah, that's
Because you can't really like fake the way it rips from the floor.
Right.
Too bad,
you can
man.
nail it in, but you can build a lightweight.
Sure. But they
bench.
rip up not only the wood, but the carpet.
Right.
Okay, here's
So
the
the whole
thing.
thing comes
you
out.
don't need
Yeah.
to have the real actors do that. You just need to have it so that you see them in the hole rocking it and
Right.
picking it up. And then you do a close-up of 4 or 5 dudes ripping it up.
Sure.
That's what I would do, just so that it would be...
but
But as much
sometimes-
detail that went into this movie, I don't think that was on their high priority list, I guess.
Directors, they don't want to take the time to put the same wardrobe on stand-in actors to
No,
have
because
them do
the
it
shot
insert.
Or they have an image
the
in
shot
their
is
mind.
literally just the bottom. You see
Right.
no one. You
You see
see
their
nothing
shoes,
except that.
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would not be hard to do that, and for you to not want to.
I feel like
Put
it's
your actors
a
at
medium
jeopardy.
shot to a degree. So you see like part of their bodies. But
like knee down.
it could
Yeah, but
it could have been reframed.
That's what I'm saying.
for safety reasons.
You rather hurt Leo? Like...
It was on the last day.
No. He let
Kate, I can tell you what the last day was.
He let Kate get pneumonia.
Yeah,
what was the last day?
Okay, so you want to hear the first scene first? First scene ever shot.
Oh, yeah.
Was the nude scene.
Yep.
Nice.
Last scene ever shot was when Captain Smith is in the captain box and all the water comes through the glass.
Gotcha.
That is the last shot. That's not him, that's the stuntman. But that is that's a wrap shot right there.
Nice. That's a good shot to end on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Captain goes down with the ship.
You only need so many, people, crew members for that one. And
why is it like I've worked on projects where like a sex scene is like the first scene that the two actors work on together.
It's an icebreaker.
And I did read that Kate, to break the ice for that scene, when she first met Leo, she flashed him.
Yeah.
Just to lighten up the
boom, titties.
There you go.
And there you go.
He was apparently still nervous.
Oh yeah, he improv'd.
Well, you know this story.
Yeah,
I do.
He improv'd the line when
he says
to draw
on
her.
the couch, he says on the bed first.
He's like, go sit on the bed.
That was an accident. On the bed, the couch.
He was nervous.
I mean, he's like 20 years old.
Yeah, I mean, damn, Kate had she looked great.
She had nice titties.
Yes.
And at 20 years old, he hadn't seen too many titties at this time.
I don't know. He was famous.
True.
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not going to say
sure
he hasn't seen more than the average 20-year-old.
What I'm
don't
saying
get me wrong. Leo now has seen some titties.
No, he's still a virgin. You don't know that?
Shit.
Okay, so, I mean, back then, maybe it was the beginning of his, like, I only date 20-year-olds, models with nice titties time. We don't know.
Yeah.
He was famous. Especially after this movie, he could have whatever pussy he wanted. He was like, bitch, come over here. I'm like, yes, Leo.
Somebody I forgot to mention that was supposed to play Jack. River Phoenix.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
James Cameron had him in mind
I do remember reading
before Leo. But sadly, River Phoenix did pass.
Can I share?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So it's kind of, so after seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and I read reviews about interviews with Leo and Brad. So Leo shared a story of an eerie encounter with a celebrity that had passed. And it was back, I think, shortly after Titanic. He was...
It's before.
Before? Okay. So he wasn't even that famous yet.
We just said River Phoenix passed, so he couldn't do Titanic.
Okay. So Leo was at a party event, and River Phoenix was there, and he saw River Phoenix coming up the stairs towards him, and Leo freaked out and was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to meet him," and he was about to stick out his hand to give him a handshake and introduce himself, and some people got in the way because it was a whole party, and when they got out of the way, River Phoenix he disappeared.
Yeah,
and
he kind of disappeared into the crowd.
Yeah, and Leo was he was running up and down the stairs trying to find him because he really wanted to meet River Phoenix.
Yeah.
And turns out that River was on his way out to go to the Viper room that night, and that was the night when he overdosed.
Yeah. So sadly, he died in front of the Viper room.
Yes, which was owned by Johnny Depp at the time.
Yep.
No, he doesn't own. He
got rid
sold
of it
after
this
that happened.
incident.
Yeah.
I do want to say that the water is coming up the grand staircase.
Damn.
So
Damn, Gina.
Go.
This shit is scary, yo. So
It is coming. We are sinking.
Jason Barry, we love you. Keep doing your thing. We've seen you on Sons of Anarchy and a number of other things. He's still working. He's still doing a great job. And we could talk about Danny Nucci, being that we're already talking about my boys. He plays Fabrizio.
Fabrizio. I don't have any fun.
So Danny Nucci does not have an accent in real life.
I know. I thought an interview with him today, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he doesn't have really an accent. He's from Austria.
Oh.
He's not French. But he did a great job playing a Frenchman, and he has had a great career ever since Titanic. He's got 95 credits to his IMDb as of right now. He's doing a movie right now called Street Walkers. He's not playing a streetwalker, I don't think. His name's Mark Gallagher, so
maybe it's
okay.
But my dude has been on a whole bunch of TV shows. He plays a lot of detectives nowadays. He's falling into that casting the same as what's his name? Fez from that 70s show. William Balderrama. Where he's like
Wilmer Valderrama.
Buscemi? What?
I wasn't gonna make fun of nobody because God knows I can't say shit. Fez.
Give to Fez.
There you go.
Foreign exchange
Let me
student.
do it. Let me show you how it's done.
That's what Fez.
Well, he plays a lot of detective roles nowadays. He's been on 911 and The Rookie and The Fosters and a number of different things. Matter of fact, he's Mike Foster.
Oh.
On The Fosters.
Okay.
Nice.
So on The Fosters, he doesn't play a detective, but on a lot of other shows, he does. And he also didn't James Cameron direct Eraser? Or am I mistaken? Or is that a Michael Bay movie?
I don't think it's Michael Bay. It might be right.
I thought it was James Cameron.
I said you might be right. I said it's not Michael Bay. Nope.
Chuck Russell. My bad. I thought I was about to say that he's worked with Cameron before, but he has not. So Fabrizio, man, it breaks my heart when he dies too.
No, he's trying so hard to fight for his life.
That's gonna happen in a few minutes.
Talking about Fabrizio.
So
because the first stack,
what are
the
those
first
things
stack
called?
falls. The smokestack.
Smokestacks. So those things, it didn't really fall on him, obviously. That's another one of those motion capture situations. So they had to build a smokestack. It was 14 and a half feet tall, and they tried to make it as light as physically possible.
But it's still heavy as fuck.
But the frame was made out of either steel or aluminum. The rest of it was made out of cardboard. And
so it just soaked in the water.
And the same way, you look down on him and you see he's like going like this, and then all of a sudden you look back up and it's coming down. But before that, if you look, everything is black behind him. Therefore, they had to do some cuts. It's really falling in a soundstage or maybe in the parking lot. I don't know.
I think it's a soundstage.
It's in the parking lot again.
It's probably the big water tank.
It's a soundstage in the parking lot.
Can I give you a fun fact about the smokestacks?
Yes.
Real fact, okay? There were 4 on this boat because they thought 4 looked grand when only 3 of them actually work.
What?
The 4th one is put there for looks, but it also works as ventilation for the kitchen. So there was a purpose to it. But it just was not part of the stack.
It's too hot in the kitchen.
It's too hot in the kitchen.
Too hot in the kitchen.
I'm too hot
in the kitchen.
Also, speaking of the smokestacks, the wires that are connected to them, those things really did get snapped off and fall into the water in the movie. Oh, okay. While there were people in the water.
So they could have cut someone in the fucking too.
Very meticulous about how and where those things
I don't like it. I'd be like, I don't want to be in that scene.
Yeah, cut me out of that scene.
Yeah.
That's fine. He's like,
I'm
gonna
telling
cut you out.
The stunt people in this movie.
Brutal.
Absolutely.
People did get hurt.
So did the first teamers. So the
first team got hurt.
Yeah, they all bruised up and.
Yeah, some people broke bones.
Doesn't the Queen Mary only have 3 smokestacks?
They do only have 3 smokestacks. Here's some fun stuff. 1, I love the Queen Mary. Have gone there before. Have you guys been on the Queen Mary?
Yes.
It is
on Halloween.
Yes, I do. Mainly, I do go on Halloween for the horror nights or whatever they have there. But the Queen Mary here in Long Beach, California, is bigger than the Titanic. So
I thought it was smaller.
Nope, it is bigger than the Titanic.
That bitch is bigger.
Yes. Yes.
When was the Queen Mary made?
After the Titanic.
After. Okay.
So it is bigger than the Titanic. It is apparently better made. If you are out here and you kind of want to get the feeling of what it was like to be on a cruise ship back at that time, that is a perfect place to fucking go.
Wow.
Because it is.
We got to go back. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you can go take a tour. There's tours of it. Yeah. And, you can walk
during
around.
the day.
They have night tours as well. They have really cool bars. Yes, it is one of the most haunted places in America.
No.
Because it was used as a, not only a cruise liner, but it was used as an army ship.
Yeah, it was modeled after the Titanic.
But it was used as an army ship to pick up like refugees and supplies like that. So a lot of people did end up dying on that boat.
Robin, be in a situation.
He's changing positions.
Robin, behave yourself or you're getting thrown overboard.
Yes.
Oh,
and it's coming soon, girl. We all going down.
No. She's going down with me.
Can I give you... Swamp us.
Can I give you a mad fact?
Ooh. What you going to piss me off about?
Okay, so there really was a boat that had 12 people on it.
Okay.
And they was called the Millionaire Boat.
Motherfuckers. This
boat contained 5 millionaires and 7 crewmen. And all crewmen were paid equivalent of like $580 to not fill the boat. They were one of the first ones off, and they were one of the furthest ones away from the wreck.
Motherfuckers.
They never went back to go get anybody or to help anybody. And the guy who bribed the crew members actually ended up having to go to court and answer for this because you did this, you lost, another 20, 30 people could have fit in your boat, but you didn't even want that.
70. Yeah. They were tested in Belfast 70s. With the weight of 70 men.
Yeah,
now
I just
read
read
these
earlier.
Boats, Mr. Lighto, for God's sake, man.
It said the last boat had 40 people in it. Boat 9 was the last boat to go on.
Assholes, man.
There were only 20 boats on the boat, and 17 of them actually made it into the water. Some of them, like you see in the movie, capsized. Break, There was one that actually did make it into the water that capsized
and sank.
No, it's because the capsize, it holds the air there, so it sat there, and people climbed on top of it and sat on it and waited for help.
I would say that counts.
Yeah. Oh, as a boat, I don't know if they counted it or not, but
as a raft,
it did help people. And back then, you didn't have to have a boat for every soul on the boat. You only had to have as equivalent to whatever, how heavy your ship was how many boats you had to have. There was like what you end up having to have. So after this horrible disaster, laws were put into effect that you have to have boats and life preservers for everybody, and that you can't do this, you can't do that. A lot of rules and safety programs were created because of this crash. Because the richest man in America sank on this fucking boat.
Yeah. That's why some rich people died. That's why they had to put these laws in place.
But I mean, either way, it helps us.
12 motherfuckers.
12.
7 of them being crewmen. You got to be shitting me. Oh, I'd be furious.
Yeah.
If I survived, I'd be whooping some ass.
Yeah.
I would go specifically to that boat. So when after I got off on the survivor ship or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I mean, like when
I know, mad fact indeed.
I know. So when Mr. Anderson is like saying,
there 20 or so. I saw one boat with only 12.
12. That is real. There really was a 12 boat of rich ass people and people who just didn't give a shit.
Damn.
And he was
he does a great job.
He does.
Victor Garber is who we're talking about. He plays Mr. Andrews. I've built you a good ship, Rose.
Young Rose.
Victor Garber.
You know what I think of when I think of him?
Huh? First Wives Club?
Yes. That's not what I was gonna say, but yes, definitely.
What?
I think of because she steals his Corvette and he gets all pissed.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
She's like, oh, he's mad. Okay. I think of Cinderella because he plays the king with Whoopi.
Oh, really? I never seen that one. I'm sorry.
With Brandy?
I haven't seen that one.
Wait,
or maybe I did when I was a kid. I don't
Brandy
remember.
Brandy and Whoopi?
If anything, I don't remember it.
Well, yeah. Well, he plays the prince's dad along with Whoopi as his wife.
Okay.
And that's, like that. As a little kid, is what I usually...
Victor Garber is that guy.
That he hasn't seen it?
Get off my ass. I ain't seen everything.
Okay, oh my God.
One, Smashley, now it's on you. You have to make this happen.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Sure she will.
I guess next musical month, that's what I'm going to have to pick.
Okay.
There you go. You're going to get around to it before she does.
And then you have to watch it. Yeah. All right.
So, like I was saying, Victor Garber is that guy that you've seen a million times, but you didn't know his name. He's that guy from that thing.
Yeah, from everything.
From everything. He's got that stereotypical older white man face.
He's been old for a long time.
He has been old for a long time. For like a good 20, 30 years, I would say.
Well, yeah, if he's old in Titanic.
Yeah, absolutely. And he still looks exactly
he
the
does
same.
Look exactly the same.
He's one of the few white guys that doesn't age. But you'd know him, like we said, in this from First Wives Club. Whose wife is he? Or whose husband is he? He's
Goldie Hawn's
Goldie
husband.
Hawn's ex-husband. That's right. He leaves her for Kelly? No, Tori from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Jesse
Spano from Saved by the Bell.
She's like, I'm Monique.
Mm-hmm. So my dude has 138 credits to his name.
Yeah. He was the dad on Alias.
He was the dad on Alias. He was in Argo. He was in, I want to say he was in Lincoln with Spielberg.
I didn't see it.
And so many other things. So many other fucking things. I can't even go down the list. Right now he's also doing a TV series called Power. I haven't seen it, but it's been on for 6 years already.
Wait, I mean, you might not have seen it, but you do know Power.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it's about.
Well, it's on his last season, so you should watch it.
I just barely started watching Mad Men today.
Okay.
And it's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a fun fact?
I don't know what all the fuss was about.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about Thomas Andrews?
Mr. Andrews, yes.
He was a shipbuilder,
mm-hmm.
and he was trying to help people by handing out life jackets. And there's reports of him throwing lawn chairs into the water for people to hold on to.
There you go.
And he also was really found in a smoking lounge. Last time he was seen was in a smoking lounge looking at a picture of the ship with his life jacket sitting on a table nearby. So James Cameron did keep it 100 on that by having his characters run through there and giving that life jacket to Rose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, he did a hell of a job at depicting this and being as true to history as he possibly could.
There were some things that weren't true, obviously. All of the crewmen that you see, the people sending the distress sign, the lookouts, the first captain, and everybody else, all the hand decks and stuff, they're real. Based off of real people. Mm-hmm. And the guy who actually shoots Tommy and the other dude, he shoots himself and dies. Mm-hmm. That is not how it went down. There is no claim that he committed suicide in any way or that he even shot anybody. So I think
you got to tie up the story.
He took some liberties with that, and James Cameron, if I'm not mistaken, got sued by the family by saying hey man, that's not what happened to our relative. You sitting here telling lies that we're gonna think are real for decades to come. Oh, shed life boats.
I guess. I mean,
I don't know.
Is there a statute of limitations on that, being that it was in 1912?
I don't know if they won or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still have to ask to use their likeness, so you. Right?
Sure.
So you still had to go to their great-great-grandchild and be like, hey, girl, is it cool if we use your grandfather around here, blah, blah, blah. And then I go see the movie and you lying on my grandfather and make him look like a punk, like he couldn't handle it. He killed people and then he killed himself. I'd be kind of pissed too.
I mean...
If it was you, it was a story of your life and I saw that, I'd be like, what the fuck?
That's not the way I see it. I don't see it as if he killed people deliberately.
No. He was trying to keep him back.
No, I'm not saying that he did it deliberately in any way. I'm just saying if I saw my great-grandfather and I know that, reports show that he tried to help people and do all this stuff and he didn't shoot himself, I would be upset too. This movie is one of the most highest grossing movies and most seen movies of all motherfucking time. So people are going to take this as fact.
Sure.
Smashy said, there's a Jay Dawson who has nothing to do with this goddamn movie who's getting people coming into his grave 100 years later. It has nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
Amazing.
I see him as an honorable person, though. I see him as a good naval officer. I see him being responsible and keeping people at bay, keeping these men who are trying to get on these boats to save their lives in front of these women and children. Yeah. And it has gotten to this point. It's desperation time. This ship is sinking. It is going down. People are going to die. people have already died already.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is he has warned all these people. He's pushing them back. He is literally at the edge of the ship.
I know. He could be pushed over.
Trying to push 50 men back and maintain order, and it's not happening. And they're no longer afraid of the gun because they're going to die anyway.
I mean...
And therefore he shoots one guy. And I think that's why they give Tommy the lines that they do, because he's in front and he's yelling and talking shit to Mr. Lowe because he calls him a limey bastard. Give us a chance to live, you limey bastard.
That's what I'm saying.
And then immediately his distraction is to the right, to somebody who's trying to jump over. And then so he shoots that guy, and then the distraction is to the left where somebody pushes Tommy forward, and then he's like almost point blank when he shoots him.
Right.
I don't see that as dishonoring his name. And the fact of the matter is he killed Tommy on accident.
What I'm saying is that if this character did not kill anybody or kill himself, but is portrayed as that in the movie, then I would be upset. That's what I'm saying. If your grandfather didn't go out by shooting himself, he went out by saving people or drowning because he couldn't get on the fucking boat, that's how I want his story told. Not that he shot himself. That's all I'm saying. You're making up history, which this movie is making up history.
For the most part, this is labeled as a fiction. It's not a documentary.
It's true.
It's not a depiction of what really happened. They try to do as much as possible. But the majority of the people on this... need to know that this is a fictional story.
It is. But the majority of the real people that are in this movie are portrayed as they were.
As much as can be.
As much as can be. If you're going to show Mr. Andrews, the last time you see him is in the fucking room looking at a picture of the ship without his life jacket on, and that's real, and that's something that you're portraying, why would you muddy somebody's name by making it seem like they committed suicide? That's all I'm saying.
I get that.
I would be upset.
Also, I don't think that the family really cared. I think it was probably a money grab.
I'm going to say that I would care. Because if I know or have been told by survivors or whatever that this is the last time I saw him and no one saw that, then I'm not going to be happy with the way you're portraying it because, like I said, people take this as real.
Sure, but chances are there's like a handful of people that actually know that this is your great-great-grandfather in the first place. Like, anybody that knows is a friend or family.
This movie came out in 1997. So that means there's this thing called internet where I can look up all the facts about this shit.
But the fact of the matter is their name is not getting dragged through the mud.
No, I'm not saying
my
name isn't. His name is. It is. Because if that's not how he went down, that's...
It's not a negative depiction, though. For one. I don't think it is.
Committing suicide.
Because he feels responsible for taking another man's life.
But did he take another man's life?
Yes, he absolutely did.
In real life? Was that a real thing? That's what I'm saying. If you're going to portray a person who is not just a side character.
If this is somebody's great-great-grandfather.
He is one of the second in charge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, he dies and then the other dude ends up taking over once the captain dies. So, I mean, he's a real big name person.
Third in charge.
I saw, like, if I could see a picture of his real face and a picture of the actor, then he's a big enough person for you to get his story straight.
Mr. Murdoch.
That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Murdoch.
That's all I'm saying.
Is first,
but we sinking, so let's keep it.
First Officer Murdoch, yeah.
Let's keep it cracking. I'm just saying I ain't mad at the family for hating on it because I'd be pissed if you said my dad shot somebody and
it didn't actually
and it didn't happen.
But money's not going to solve that problem.
No, but we're talking about it right now.
Angry about it.
I can still be angry about it.
To a degree, yeah, I guess so. But
you're downplaying these families.
I'm not downplaying the families. I'm saying literally 5 people are going to know that that's a depiction of your great-great-grandfather.
Well, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
We have hundreds of people who listen
to it,
and they're going to know.
That family.
No, I know that.
They want to try to tell, because the audience sees it as, oh, he actually did that, and their family's just trying to say that's not
that's not how he went out.
Sure.
He didn't shoot nobody. If it said that your brother was on the boat and he shot 2 people and shot himself, but really he just died because the boat sank.
That's a brother in like real time. This person is the same age as me. We're talking about 4 generations back.
All right.
And nobody knows that they're related to that person.
Your great-great-grandma. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying I would be upset. I might not have sued him, but I definitely would come forward and be like, don't believe the hype because they depicted something that didn't happen with a real person. I'm just saying. If you're going to do something like that, make it a fake character.
Re-edits. I would call for re-edits before I call for money.
Nah, I'm going to take the money. Fuck your movie. I don't give a shit what it is.
That's what I'm saying. If they really cared about the importance of their great-great-grandfather's name,
but you
then
really
they would call for re-edits
you
rather
really
than
think James Cameron's going to re-edit the most expensive movie ever made?
It's not up to him.
It is up to him.
At that point, he's in a legal battle, and if he loses, he has to.
Yeah, but again, like you said,
if it really matters to the family, they would do that rather than take money.
If I still have to sign a form for you to use my relative's likeness, get it right.
Did they sign a form?
They would have to sign a form. Someone has to sign a form to use the likeness of these real people.
You know who didn't have to sign a form? Bill Paxton.
Someone who's fake.
Stupid.
We're sinking.
We're sinking.
We're going to talk about him definitely when we do Twister, which is also a great 90s movie with amazing special effects.
We can't pass him up, though.
I know. I just don't have any fun facts for that reason.
I mean, I don't have any fun facts, but I do love Bill Paxton. And this was a great movie of his. He plays the boss, I guess you could say, the documentary, the filmmaker, the treasure seeker.
What's it called when she's just like pillaging or grave robbing? I feel like he's.
I mean, I don't know if.
I don't know, because they don't really care about Titanic or preserving anything or, bringing up artifacts. They literally only care about one thing.
Yeah, they're trying to find the money. They have investors who are interested in finding the diamond because that's going to get them paid.
Yeah.
That is their job. They are treasure hunters.
Yeah.
And that thing is down there for the last 100 years unclaimed. Or 85 years or so.
Yeah. It's 102 now. Wait.
107.
7?
107.
Now, 2012 was 100.
107.
Which also made Titanic come back into the theater and also in 3D. And, yeah.
I don't like 3D.
I missed that train.
I did go back to go see it. So I guess, okay, total time in 20 years of seeing this fucking movie in theaters, that would make it 4. I saw it 3 times when it first came out in the theaters, and then I did see it again. Not 3D, but just insane. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. But Bill Paxton...
That's where he shot Rose. He was trying to shoot Rose.
We talking about Bill Paxton over here. Care about that. Brock Lovett is his name in this movie. And yes, he is a thrill seeker. He's a treasure hunter. And he is the catalyst to the story of Rose. And he's kind of the only one that believes her. Like, because Mr. Bodine doesn't believe her or anything. But he openly says... everybody that knows about the diamond is supposed to be either dead or on this boat, yet she knows about the diamond. Mm-hmm. And that's why he brings her on, and that's why you are my new best friend, and this, that, and the other. I'm curious, though, how he doesn't realize that she has the diamond. That's where the 2% gets taken away. That's why I guess 98%.
Why would he think?
Because she tells him the story. And he openly says, I put the diamond in the coat and I put the coat on her.
But I get that. But then again, she's not there for that. So there's no way for her to tell that part of the story.
She wouldn't have said that to him.
Yeah.
He could have.
It's in the story that she told.
He could have made the connection if he was paying attention that the jacket that Jack was. Oh, wait.
Rose. That's not even the same jacket.
That's not the same jacket.
There's no way. Kidding. There's literally no way because, one, she doesn't realize it until she is in America that it's even in her jacket. Mm-hmm. So she wouldn't mention it. Cal say...
Oh, you're right, because she's running off.
She's running off.
So that's a part of the story that Rose isn't telling.
She's not telling him that.
Of course
so
not.
he doesn't...
It's just a part in the story that's added in.
Because Rose doesn't know what the fucking Cal says.
Yeah. Because she's gone. He was chasing her with a gun.
The last thing she heard is, I hope you enjoy your life together. And he just, she ran off. Mm-hmm. So because she doesn't realize it until the end. She could have took that jacket off and threw it somewhere like she did her other jacket.
I don't understand his end scene, though. Like, he has this cigar and he was saving it for when he finally found the diamond and stuff, and he throws it in the ocean. But she doesn't openly say anything about the diamond, of whether she has it or whether it went down with the ship or what.
Well, he knows it went down with the ship because Cal claims it days after the boat sinks for insurance money. So there's record of him not having it, because if he had it, he would probably sell it, especially when the stock markets crash and he's like about to kill himself. That would have gotten him a nice piece of change. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't like that she throws it in the water anyway.
Yeah, I don't like
her fucking granddaughter could have had that.
There goes the 2%.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Hey, that's one of my biggest things that I hate about it, is that she throws it in the ocean.
Gloria Stewart.
I wish that she didn't give it to Bill Paxton. Like, I don't want him to have it.
I don't want him to have it.
But I want her to, like, in her deathbed, pass it to the granddaughter. She been sitting there taking care of your old ass for how long? And you ain't gonna leave her with nothing?
I would have had her...
Millions?
I would have had her pass away in her sleep on this voyage.
And they find it in her shit.
And, yeah, they find... No. She makes sure to give it to her granddaughter, Lizzie.
Yeah, James Cameron, what was with the ending?
Yeah, James, if you could email us at Lights Camera Cocktail, no S.
No S. I want to know. Cause
we're curious why you chose to throw that Heart of the Ocean back in the ocean.
I feel like it don't make too much sense. Can I give you a fun fact before we move on?
About Gloria Stewart?
Sure. You want a fun fact about her?
Sure, why not? Right. I got one for you for that one.
So, like you said, she was nominated for Best Actress for playing... Supporting Actress for playing Old Rose. Mm-hmm. And she knew that she wasn't the Rose, that she's playing off of young Rose.
Yes.
So she made sure that she met with Kate Winslet so that they could, she could see how she walked and talked and all that stuff, so that the older her could be her. Yeah. So these ladies got together.
That's cute.
Popped a bottle of champagne.
Killed a bottle of champagne.
That shit. And literally just sat there and chit-chatted about everything and anything for hours. And it was both of their just like favorite memories from like doing the movie was like awesome. Getting to like meet each other. Mm-hmm. It was really really cool. Afterwards,
Kate said that Gloria Stewart is the kind of older woman that Kate Winslet wants to be. Mm-hmm. So Gloria Stewart was born on a dining room table in Santa Monica in 1910.
Wow.
Yeah, she is the only person on this entire movie who actually was alive when the Titanic sank.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
She was two coming up on 2 years old when the Titanic sank. She was born in Santa Monica, California. And she, in high school, was voted most likely to succeed.
Oh. And boy, did she.
Yeah, and she did.
Because she worked for a very, very long time.
She openly joked, saying she didn't realize it was going to take so long.
Hey, man, it happens.
But, she was an actress for many, many years. She stepped away from acting and did other jobs, though. Like, she moved to Carmel, where she did theater, and she started a family thing.
Santa Monica.
I know, right? Dude. She also lived in New York for a while, and she started making furniture that she would, like, make specifically for celebrities like Judy Garland and such.
Judy.
She continued to like learn new things.
Mm-hmm.
So
as you should.
Mm-hmm. So like I think one of the reasons why when they show her house in the beginning and she's painting, it's because she really is a painter. She is a very, very accomplished oil painter. Ooh. And some of her paintings are at, I can't remember which museum in Los Angeles, as well as she is a very prolific bonsai trimmer. I guess you can
want a bonsai.
She's got some bonsais that are still on display at the Huntington Library.
How big are they?
I don't know.
I hope they're huge because she's old as fuck.
Well, like you said, she passed away in 2010, so somebody else is keeping up with
That's
them.
fine.
But
I really want a bonsai. That's so cute.
They're actually really hard to take care of.
I do
They
know
really
this.
are.
And they're expensive.
I have a personal thank you that I have to give to Gloria because she is one of the reasons why we have the Screen Actors Guild now.
Hey, girl.
She is one of the founders of the Screen Actors Guild. So she was working very hard at forming that guild in the 30s and 40s, I want to say, something like that. Not only that, there's a famous story about her.
Oh, shit.
So she was doing a play in Carmel, which later got brought to the Pasadena Playhouse. Which brought her back to Los Angeles. And when she was there, that's when she was discovered. She was discovered by 2 studios, Universal as well as Paramount. And they were both vying for her contract. And they settled it with a coin flip. Universal won.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I'd be like, whoever's offering
because
me the
back
most
then it was
money?
the studio system.
Oh, yeah.
So you
of
worked
course.
for a studio.
Yeah,
You weren't like a independent contractor.
Right.
So Universal won the coin flip, and therefore she went with Universal. However, eventually she got tired of doing the movies that she didn't feel like creative there. And
Well,
so
yeah,
she
because
went on to work with other studios.
You didn't get to pick your movies when you worked in studios.
Yeah.
Unless you were like a huge star like Clark Gable or something like that where, you know...
You drew a
you draw
huge crowd.
numbers, yeah. And you don't get to leave your contract unless you're people like Clark Gable, who did that for fucking Gone with the Wind. They're, you know, and you have to pay the studios so much money. So she was during that time when actors really were just puppets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember what it was. So she did a landscape of the Watts Towers.
Ooh.
And that is what is on permanent collection at the Los Angeles County
Which
Museum.
we still need to go to the Watts Towers.
Yes,
Oh,
but her painting
I drove by,
is
but I've never
at
got to actually get out and go.
the Los Angeles County Museum. That's where it's on display. The last thing I'm going to say about her is that she is the first and one of the few people to receive the Centurion Award. While still being alive.
Oh, shit.
She received the award in July of 2010 and then passed in September.
Wow. So she like barely...
She made it though.
She murdered it.
Mm-hmm.
She died in September?
September...
Is it closer to her birthday? Was she born in September?
2010.
Oh, she was born in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gloria Francis Stewart.
We love you. R.I.P.
She was great. I really, really enjoyed watching her. She didn't go back to acting until her husband passed in 1978. That's why we didn't see her for many, many years.
Wasn't I a dish? Can I give you a fun fact?
Sure.
Because the movie ran for so long, they had to send out replacement reels to theaters because they had worn out.
Wow.
Word.
Word. Now, word up. I got another one. You ready?
Sure.
So the VHS dropped in the U.S. on September 1st, 1998.
Okay.
While it was still being played in 447 theaters. Yes. So
I like that.
it was still playing in theaters, and you could buy it on DVD. Or VHS. Pre-DVD.
Pre-DVD. Yeah.
The front of our ship is in the water.
Damn.
So we got to get this cracking.
The ship is almost sank, y'all.
It's almost sank.
So, Frances Fisher, she is a bitch in this movie. Ruth, exactly. Ruth DeWippicator.
She might be a bitch, but she has probably my favorite line in this entire movie.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Go ahead and say it, but I know what it is.
She goes, it's unfair. Of course it's unfair. We're women.
Our choices are never easy.
They're never easy. Because we're fucking women. We don't get none of this shit. And, I mean, I understand where the mom was coming from because, you know, women couldn't really work and do anything on their own back then. And so it was like, lose everything or pit my 18-year-old daughter out to some rich dude. Mm-hmm. And that sounded more up her, like, style of fucking shit. But I think that's kind of the prim and proper way. Like, when Rose looks over and she sees the little girl and the mom, you know, showing her how to be all proper.
How to be a lady and how to be a...
Yeah. I've literally always watched that and, like, wanted to die. Like, I hate it. I just hate it. Seeing that, one, she's not happy being herself. She has to be this high standard society person. And then you look over at this little girl who also has no choice. And it's going to end up just like Rose. Mm-hmm. Unhappy and wanting to jump off of a front of a fucking ship because she can't be herself. Another thing that I did learn was that they had in the dressing rooms a 3-hour long videotape of showing everybody how to act and walk in the proper things in that time period. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'd be like this because I had a corset on and some shit. Yeah, you take your hats off. And you got to stand when women get up. And one of the things that I did see and they showed was this, like, how the mom was showing the daughter, like, the right things to do. Mm-hmm. You know, they're like, you know, a kid might pick up a cake like this and you not making a big deal, like, use a fork. You would just be like, fork. And you would just, like, put her hand down and then she would, like, grab the fork. Like, very subtle things
interesting because
that she would have to do.
The little girl, I saw that video too, and it's not the same little girl. I think they recast the little girl.
No, it's not. It was just showing, I think that was part of the video that I was talking about, of showing things that you need to work on for your characters.
So it wasn't the actual actors. It was somebody who was displaying for the actors to see later how to do it.
Yes.
I see. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Well, Frances Fisher, who plays Ruth, she's a great actress. I've really enjoyed her in a number of things. Like The Lincoln Lawyer. Did you ever see that?
Nope.
McConaughey? Ryan Phillippe?
Nope.
Damn good movie.
I've never even heard of that.
I'm going to give you a fun fact about her.
Sing it.
You don't want to hear me sing right now. This is a fun fact.
Okay, good.
So Frances was doing a film in 1989 directed by Mr. Clint Eastwood.
Who?
Clint Eastwood.
You never heard of him?
Never. Not a never?
Not a nail, not a nettle.
Well, she was playing opposite of Clint in that movie, and that turned into a 6-year relationship with Clint. They have one child together. They separated in 1995.
No offense, I'd separate from him too. But
why are you hating on Clint?
Personal reasons.
I got you. You know Clint?
Yeah, you know, we tight.
All right.
He never wants to put me in the movies. That's why. All right, we're going down. Our butt's about to come out of this water. So
okay, then fine. Frances, we love you. You were great. Kathy Bates, we love you. You were great. I'm kidding.
Kathy Bates, I love you. You are fucking great
she
in
really
everything
is.
you ever possibly do.
She really, really is.
I love you in this movie. I love you in Misery. I love you in American Horror Story. I love you in The Office. Mm-hmm. You fucking kill it. I even watch your stupid weed show on Netflix. That's how much I love you. And that wasn't even that good.
I'm only going to say one thing about Kathy as far as fun facts and stuff. A lot of people believe that she started her career very late because she did Misery when she was 42 years old.
The cock-a-doodle story. I'm sorry. Well,
but the fact of the matter is, Kathy Bates has been acting long before. Her first credits date back to when she was like 21 years old.
She was out there hustling.
You cannot knock Kathy Bates and say that she started late and just sprouted up out of nowhere. She earned every step that she got.
It's like Lucy. Lucy didn't make it famous till she was in her 40s. Mm-hmm. She was the B-rated queen.
Yeah.
And her as Molly Brown, I think, is fantastic. She does a great depiction of like a... was she like a Texan or something like that?
Something like that. I don't know where she's from. Mm-hmm. But she does look similar to the real Molly Brown. Mm-hmm. As does the captain, as does Mr. Andrews. Looks close to his. Like, the people, they did a really good job.
Sure.
And we love you, Kathy Bates. You're the best. We'll talk about you in...
Favorite line of Kathy Bates?
You got us up here with this on. You have us cooling our heels. And she's all fucking pissed. Yeah, I don't know. She says some, or she'd be like, "You shine like a brand new penny."
Yeah, she does. Or she does say that. I will say that I like the way she depicts Molly Brown because, like we all know, she is new money. She doesn't come from these families that have been grooming their kids since day one and shit.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have helped Jack.
Her head very high.
Yeah. Because she's like, bitch,
she
still got
still
money.
keeps herself. She knows that some of these women don't like her and that they turn their nose up at her.
Yeah.
And she throws it right back in their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, she goes to sit with them, and
they're like, hurry up,
Ruth is like, there's a vulgar olive brown woman. Come before she sits with us.
She's like, hey, girls, I was trying to drink some tea with y'all.
Oh, I'm afraid you missed it. We were about to take a walk on the deck and get the air.
Oh, perfect. That's what I was going to do, too. Come on.
Yeah, she's like, I need to catch up on my gossip.
On my gossip. I'm like, God damn, the gossip is,
I
we
know
don't
you
like you,
bitches
bitch.
don't like me. I'm going to rub it in your face.
And you stuck with me.
All right. It's time to talk about our main 3 actors.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
You got a fun fact before that?
Yeah, you want a fun fact about...
Throw it out.
Are we talking about Billy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the coffee scene with Rose and Cal was ad-libbed by Billy. So, like, the line where he was like, you're my wife if by law, if not by training, and you will do what a wife is supposed to do. All those lines are improv by him, and that's why Kate's face is the way it is, because the bitch didn't know what the hell he was about to say to her.
Yeah.
I don't know if the, like, table turning over was... like added, or if he just like in the moment felt like that's what he needed to do. But it is an intense scene, and I always felt like really bad for her, and just like the maid feels really bad when she walks in, like, fuck, this dude's at it again.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'll pick this up. Just go somewhere. Yeah.
I wonder if maybe that's how it turned into that, because maybe it wasn't in the blocking or anything for him to turn over the table, but he did that because they maybe weren't getting what they needed out of each other.
Yeah.
Or he did feel that in the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's a number of things where James Cameron would like something, and then unfortunately they would have to redo it because they only got one shot of it. You capture that magic and then you got to recreate it for other angles. Because I know that in that scene... they cut to a close-up of him right in her face when he's saying, my wife in practice, if not yet by law, so you will honor me. He probably did it, scared the shit out of her, and then they had to redo it.
Yeah.
But she also gets him back.
She does.
So, here's a fun fact. The spitting was improvised.
It was supposed to be, she was supposed to take out a hairpin and stab him in the hand and run off. But she thought of like, well, what if I just like spit in his face? And they spit so much in his face, that she ran out of saliva, and they had to use lube and egg whites.
You put lube in your mouth
to spit. That's how she got that good loogie all in his face.
Yeah,
I'd be like, look,
as well as the scene with her and Jack spitting.
Yeah.
That wasn't originally in the script.
It was not.
But Billy Zane, I love this dude. I would love to see more of Billy Zane. One of my favorite roles of his is Tombstone.
I was going to say...
The Mummy.
The Mummy? That's what I was going to say.
That's when I saw him last time, like, after Titanic, and then I saw him in The Mummy.
In The Mummy.
Yes, in The Mummy.
And that was like...
Another villain.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good villain, though.
He's a good villain. He's always been a good villain. One of his first roles was Back to the Future.
Yeah, he's one of Biff's dudes.
Yeah, his name's Champ. And so he's one of Biff's dudes. And in this one, apparently he's incredibly fun to work with on set.
I can see
it, yeah.
And so I love that he has the ability to play these villainous characters, but is not like that in real life.
Yeah.
That's good. Because nobody was a real villain.
No, of course not. You watching the ship?
I am.
Is it almost underneath?
It is. We just lost, I think, the second smokestack. So
the power's not out yet.
Power's not out yet.
That's why I said the second smokestack.
Well, my dude has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects that he's doing right now.
Oh, so
he's still working with full steam ahead. 163 credits to his name.
Damn.
At present. Billy Zane, we love you. Keep doing you, because we want to see more. I even like The Phantom, even though most people didn't.
Can I give you a fun fact before you move on to the next one?
Sure.
So the line when the guy with the gun is like, "Keep back, or I'll shoot you all like dogs."
Oh yeah.
That was improv by the actor.
Uh-huh.
And James Cameron loved it and came down and was like, "Oh my god, that was awesome! Do it again." And he was like, "What did I say?"
Yeah, he didn't remember what the hell he said.
He was so in the moment, he could not remember what he said.
Wow.
He was like, "You said stay back, or are you gonna shoot him like that?" Oh yeah. That's what I said. Okay, I'll redo it. And yeah, so that line was made up by the actor, and it is one of my favorites.
Mr. Lowe, round this boat.
I know, and he turns around, he's like, "Oh, I should put bullets in this."
We probably should bullets in this motherfucker.
I'm about to shoot one of these fuckers. Yeah.
Who you want to talk about? I'm gonna give you the option. If you want to take Kate, I'll give you Kate.
Sure, because I don't have much on Leo because
I called dibs.
he called dibs literally Friday, and I was like, "You know what, bitch? I'm not even gonna do anything. That's fine. I'll wait till another movie." So yeah, we can do Kate. I know some fun stuff.
Go ahead.
We talked about how she got pneumonia,
Mm-hmm.
but she did a lot of improvising while she was on this set. So a lot of these big lines that we think when we think of her, she came up with.
Which one?
So some of the lines were when she comes to find Jack to thank him for saving her life, and she's like, "You're just so rude," and I came down here to thank you, and now I have, and like all that part was improv by them. The spitting scene, like we said, was improv by her, and the line, "Jack, this is where we first met," was improv by her.
That's a good line.
Yeah, so she did. James Cameron let his actors kind of feel their characters more, and letting them change things. Like we said, her spitting in Cal's face instead of stabbing her with a fucking hairpin, which I don't know how I feel about that.
It would take too long, and I don't know if it would actually work.
Her hair's down.
Her hair is down.
Hair
for
is
one.
down.
Her
Two,
hair's down.
he is an abrasive man who would probably grab her arm before she stabbed him. He's already pissed.
Or maybe she just
He's already
knows.
getting physical with her.
Maybe she's just like, you know what? Always have this ready just in case I need to stab this motherfucker because he be getting cray-cray with me. Which, it's understandable.
It's understandable,
And
but
she, like you
that
said,
would have had
she
to have been
knows-
established earlier in the movie.
That's what I'm saying. So, I
which
mean,
would have taken more than 240 minutes.
I'm down for that.
Or 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Look at that.
It's capsizing.
Our ass is out of the water, so we got to do this. We literally have minutes.
And that's a big ass.
That's a big ass.
So it's in the water. There's approximately 1,500 people still on board.
Damn.
Yeah.
And those people and when you get in the water, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
There was her dress that she wears through the second half of this movie.
Yeah.
Her dress was made to look good in the movie, wet or dry.
Oh.
And they made 24 of versions of that dress.
Oh, yeah, because she was wearing it for a couple months, right?
Yeah. I mean, the whole second half of the movie, from the picture on, that's what she's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said earlier, it was made to depict that time. And so the whole thing is accurate. Like, there's even...
Oh, shit, we're not going to make it.
We're not going to make it. It is what it is. There's a fun video of Kate Winslet behind the scenes, and she's dancing and lifting up her dress. It's like, check out my bloomers.
Ooh.
She's straight up wearing bloomers under
Yeah,
there.
gotta make it accurate.
1912 bloomers.
Yep.
Go down below your knees.
Yep.
You know, that's the sexy stuff. You show a little bit of
Right?
ankle.
A little bit of...
You showing a little bit.
I do want to point out in this, like all the fans of this movie think that her character is selfish because both her and Jack could have fit on the door.
Yes.
On the plank of wood.
2:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
Titanic is officially underwater.
We have officially sank. But I do want to talk
Yeah.
about the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Mythbusters,
Yep.
one of my favorite fucking shows,
That's a good ass show.
did a Titanic episode with James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's on there. And they recreate this door to see if it would work. Now, the way they did it, because I know you're like, this two grown-ass men and not like two little skinny white teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
They did the door out of the same kind of like wood that it would be made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They made it to scale so that it would be even with the amount of weight that they weigh and the amount of weight that Jack and Rose would probably weigh, so that it would be up to scale.
Okay.
Then they both got onto this water, onto the door, and it would sink.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that they would both be able to get on it is if they took off Rose's life jacket and tied it underneath the door
Make it float.
to make it float. That's literally the only way Jack would have survived.
Huh.
I got another theory on that.
Well, did you know that when they built that piece for the movie, they made it after they replicated a piece from the Titanic that survived. A door.
Yeah.
And the actual door is a lot smaller than the one that they built in the movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if they were going to go off of like accurate depiction of that door, they both wouldn't have fit.
Yeah,
Sure.
she probably wouldn't fit either.
Yeah.
Now, there is another way that Jack would have survived, and that is if Rose kept her ass on the boat.
We talked about this. She had two chances to get on two different motherfucking lifeboats.
And Jack is a survivor, and his ass would have found the door and stayed on it himself, and they would have lived happily ever after.
Or I kind of think Cal would have killed him.
I think Cal would have killed him too. When he was waving to... Like, I think that Rose should have got on the first boat with her mama. And then Cal, he wouldn't have a reason to go after Jack at that point, and he would have got on his one that he paid to get on.
No, because if she would have not gotten on that boat, she would have never saved him from below decks.
That's
because
true.
at that time, he was chained up.
No, by the first boat
Uh-huh.
with her mom, Jack is off.
No. He's chained up. He's chained up at that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's why she's up there on the deck with her family.
Yeah.
Well, you
He
know what?
literally, because Billy Zane says, it's a pity I didn't keep that drawing. It'll be worth a lot more by morning. Which sets her off like, you unimaginable
Well, if
bastard.
he would have never saved her life and she would have jumped off the boat would have had to make a stop and they would have never hit the iceberg.
That's another good point. But we're trying to think of scenarios where Jack lives. And I think that
he would have lived. She just would have died.
He would have lived if she would have gotten on the boat and stayed on the boat on the last turn.
I do believe that.
I don't think that Billy Zane would. He openly says, not that you'll benefit from it, but he doesn't give a shit. He's just trying to get Rose on the boat because he's already got an arrangement on the other side. He's not going to try, kill Jack right in front of everybody.
No, but I do feel like
They would have gone their separate ways.
would have injured him in some way.
Jack would have met up with Tommy and Fabrizio. Hey, maybe they would have survived together because they can hold their own.
I don't know. What if he was stuck with Fabrizio and he got killed by the smokestack?
Maybe. But maybe not.
Right? They would have been homies sitting next to each other.
Or Tommy would have lived. He would have kept Tommy calm and Tommy wouldn't have fallen forward like he did.
Or maybe Jack would have gotten shot because Jack be getting mad. He'd be like, open the fucking door.
Possibly.
Open the door.
More so,
Does the eyebrows.
throughout the whole time, he's like dragging Rose and like helping her over and like trying to save her life because he truly loves her.
Yeah.
And she is, as he says, an indoor girl. And so she doesn't know how to do
like
these
a
things.
man.
Yeah. If she would have gotten on the boat, he only has himself to protect.
Yeah.
And if he ultimately would have landed in the water, I think he would have survived.
Well, he would have been on the door.
He finds the door in that situation. Maybe he would have found something else. Who knows? But I think that Jack would have survived if she would have stayed on the boat.
But then it wouldn't be
the second boat, not the first boat.
It wouldn't be Romeo and Juliet.
It wouldn't. We wouldn't have the song or the saying, I'll never let go.
Love is when I love you. Can I give you a fun fact?
Yes, please.
You know who almost got a part in this movie?
Huh.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She was 8 at the time, and she auditioned for the role of the little girl on the boat. Coral. You're still my number one girl, Coral. You're still my girl. And she's
that girl
like,
was cute.
She was cute.
She was a sweetheart.
But she didn't get the role because her hair was red.
Yeah.
And they
She
thought
almost got it.
Yeah.
She almost.
Yeah.
Well, they practically cast her.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to mix her up with Rose and Roop's family.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just giving her a wig like I would have done. But
Or dyed her hair.
Dyed her hair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like dyeing baby's hair. It's kind of fucked up. But
Sure.
I would have threw a wig on that shit and been like, all right.
Yeah, they could have done that. Because, like, well, she still would have had red eyebrows.
You just pencil that in.
I don't know makeup.
But she
But that was
eventually got her
that
break.
was Cameron's
She did.
thing.
Yeah.
Is there was too many redheads in the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Poor thing.
there was a
But
bunch of
she
Irish
did
people
fine.
in this movie.
Yeah, this is very, very true. Kate said that her favorite scene to shoot was the party downstairs.
Oh
I
yeah,
bet.
she
Because
said
that's the only time when she wasn't thinking about water.
Yeah, I was
wasn't
dry.
worried about staying clean and proper and makeup perfect
Yeah.
and hair perfect
What?
and everything. Not only that, but she loved dancing with Leo.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I
And
paid
she
good
said-
money to watch that full dance.
Yeah, exactly. So she truly, truly enjoyed that part of the filmmaking.
Did she actually stand on her toes, or was that a
Nah,
stunt
man.
person, or was that just an effects rig?
I think it was an effects
Wires,
rig.
I don't know.
Because it is pretty impossible to do
I
it without
mean,
points. shoes
Yeah,
on.
exactly. You can do it on point shoes.
Yeah, but you can't do that straight
Yeah.
up toes. No. And the way that it's shot, it doesn't look like it. Also,
As a kid, I knew that
even
wasn't
though
right. I was in
she
ballet
comes
by
from
then.
a family of actors, I don't think she was traditionally trained in dance before this.
Sure.
Yeah.
No.
You can't do it. It's not real.
Yeah.
But her parents were actors. Her siblings are actors. But yeah,
Where's she
Yeah.
from?
she's English.
She's grown to be
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite actresses. She's
I love her.
I don't hate her.
She does have an Oscar. Actually, she's got an Oscar. She's got an Emmy. She's
Oscar
got a
for what?
Grammy. She does not have a Tony.
What did she have a Grammy for?
She has a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Children's Musical or album or something like
When
that.
you do these like spoken word shit, does it count like
She got a Grammy for
all
it.
these like books that like audio books and stuff? Do those get nominated like you did the
Apparently.
reading for this? don't
I mean,
know.
it's the
just
same-
really random. It's random.
Yeah.
Random shit.
But yeah, she's got a Grammy and a Oscar for The Reader, and an Emmy. I don't remember what she got an Emmy for. It was a miniseries, but she does not have a Tony, so she ain't got EGOT yet.
We're waiting for that Antoinette Paris Award.
She just finished doing a movie called Blackbird. I don't know what it's about, but I'm curious.
Blackbird singing
right.
in the dead of night.
Don't make me cry.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Songs about black people. All your life.
Yes, it is.
You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Okay, can I give you a fun fact now?
She's in Avatar too.
That was good. No.
She is.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
I don't
She's
know.
working with Cameron.
I'm
again.
like done worried about Avatar too because it's been like 7,000
Yeah.
Dude,
years since the last
James
one.
has got Avatar 5
Oh,
in
yeah.
pre-production.
Oh, I knew up to 4. So I mean, I don't.
He's got it going through like 2027 or some shit.
Get better actors, please. Okay, so here's the fun fact.
Okay.
So Air Force One, the movie, was supposed to come out on the same day as Titanic. But they pushed back the date of releasing it because they did not want to release on Titanic.
Fuck no.
But do you know what movie did get released on the same day as Titanic?
What?
The Postman with Kevin Costner, and that movie fucking sucks. And I don't think it just sucks.
Wow.
The critics think it sucked, and it bombed in the theaters because it opened on the same day as Titanic.
Well, no
That's what you
shit.
get, Kevin Costner. That's what you get.
What does that have to?
I don't know.
Damn.
Literally,
She just wanted to throw
She
it
just
in
wanted
there.
to throw some
I
salt
did.
in the air.
I saw that on IMDb. They were talking about it, and then I was like, ooh.
I'm gonna talk shit on Beyonce for no reason next episode.
You don't love Kevin Costner like I love Beyonce. That's not fair.
Kevin
I have
Costner's
I have a
fantastic.
fun fact if we're gonna move on to our number one.
Are
Before
we?
we move on to him.
I mean, no. Get your Winslet.
Get your-
Get your Winslet on. Get
your
your Winslet on.
Get your Winslet on. All right, go.
Oh, so the crew member who goes back and saves her when she blows the whistle.
He gets punched in the face?
No,
no, I'm sorry.
The guy in the boat.
Okay.
He gets punched in
Give
the
me
face?
that shit. I'm thinking about the other one that she asked for
forgot
help.
already.
Okay.
That's Mr. Fantastic.
Come about.
From Fantastic Four?
Oh.
I
trying
didn't
to forget the
forget,
Fantastic Four.
but I'm going to have to fact check you on that one.
I told you that.
I know
she's
you
right.
did.
She's right.
I just don't remember checking on it.
I mean, I don't remember
All right,
checking
I'm not going to fact check it. I'm just going to take you at your word.
I'm going to take you at
Mr.
your word,
Fantastic.
too, because...
What's the man's name?
That's his face. They have the same face.
It's him.
That
He's
girl has
also-
my face.
He's also in
What's
101
that from?
Dalmatians.
Who's he in there?
The main guy opposite. When they did the life, like the real life version of...
No.
That's not him.
That's Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, that one's wrong. The other one, you're right.
Wait,
Mr.
no.
Fantastic.
There's two.
Now I have to do it.
He's 102 Dalmatians.
Oh, you
He's the
said
second
one, and one has the dude from House.
What dude from House?
House?
Oh.
I don't know what his name. I can't remember what his name is. But
All
yeah,
right.
House. That
Well,
was him.
I am looking it up right now, and we will... What the hell? We will find out
That looks just like him.
if this is legit.
Does it come up?
Reed Richards, right? Played by Lone. My dude's name is Lone Grufford.
Give
Yeah.
him alone. Titanic.
Fifth Officer Lowe.
Told you.
He's like, oh,
Why you gotta say told you?
Because I told you.
I told you. I told you.
It's a whole lot
didn't tell me
going
shit.
on around here. A whole lot of...
So when I saw him as Mr.
Animosity.
Fantastic and in 102 Dalmatians, I was like, oh, it's the guy from Titanic.
I never put Mr. Fantastic together because that movie sucked. But you right. You right. That's young him. And he was the only one who was like, all right, move the bitches, get this boat empty, let's go try to get somebody. And they only ended up picking up like 6 people out of all the like 1,500 that went in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right.
Damn shame.
So you gonna start us off with your boo?
Yeah, you see I turned off my screen.
I did. You don't even need.
I don't need that shit,
You don't need
Leo.
no notes.
So
This is our very first Leo movie.
it is. It absolutely is. I'm excited. So
How fitting.
Yep.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo Wilhelm
Wilhelm.
DiCaprio. Yeah, his middle name is Wilhelm. He is part Italian, part German, and he has 2 great grandparents who were Russian. Born November 11th, 1974.
Yo.
Which is why I have such admiration for him, because he's my birthday buddy. Not only that, but his father was pretty much out of the picture at 1 year old.
There's a picture of them together.
Which is similar to my own experience. So I very much liked Leo. I've
Does
always
his
been a
dad
big
come back
fan.
now? Like, hey.
I don't know. I don't think so. I know he's very, very close to his mom.
But yeah.
She's his date at every Oscar or every
Just like Brad
awards
Pitt.
that he goes
Yeah.
That's what
to.
Brad Pitt does. Or
Does he?
yeah.
Yeah.
He takes his mama.
I wonder if he stole that from Leo, or because I know he's been doing it since like day one.
I don't know. Leo's probably been going to the awards longer than.
Brad?
They might be the
Yeah.
same.
Same. I think it's the same.
It's pretty much the same. Because
I don't know. When was he like?
when was the first
Nom-
awards for Leo? Maybe What's Eating Gilbert Grape, or This
That's-
Boy's Life, possibly. However, at that same time, Brad did Thelma and Louise.
Yeah,
and
but it's
Legends
just
of
very.
the Fall.
I'll give you that one.
So
Thelma
they'll
and
probably
Louise, he was a
come up,
nobody.
they came up almost at the same exact time.
Yeah, but if you're a nobody, you don't get invited to the Academy Awards.
But Legends of the Fall was pretty much at the same time.
All right.
That was the early 90s. It was like 92 or something like that. And that one was Brad's big like breakout role, I would say, as well as A River Runs Through It. Also
All right.
one of Brad's first movies. Leo was born in Los Angeles, Grew up mostly in Echo Park as well as Los Feliz. Ooh. Yeah, I said Los Feliz, not Los Feliz.
What is That's how you say it.
That's how hipsters say it out here.
Oh, I was like, what's Los Feliz?
His residence, his home, his childhood home is now the Los Feliz Public Library.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
It is down the street from here.
Okay.
It is on Franklin and Hillhurst.
So can we go to Leo's library house?
Oh, it's not a house anymore. It got torn down, and now it's the public library.
Still.
The property where he
grew up is now the public library, which he has donated many dollars to upgrade and all that stuff, especially after the damage done to it after the 94 Northridge earthquake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's all I got on Leo. I'm kidding. We ain't scratched the surface. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. So, what can I say about Leo? My dude, I've always very much enjoyed Leo. His first big role was, of course, This Boy's Life. Before that, he did commercials. He was also on Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
This Boy's Life.
I always mix up Family Ties and The Facts of Life just because of the name. But yeah, he was on Family Ties.
It's girls. Okay.
I know, it's the name in my head.
This Boy's Life, I feel like came after What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
No. That was his first role.
I know, he said it so that I'm going to look it up.
This Boy's Life was the role where he auditioned for Robert De Niro. This is the role which he thanked Robert De Niro at his Lifetime Achievement ceremony.
What about me?
Because in the audition, De Niro gave him a chance and told him, just take it down a notch, basically.
I'd be like, bring it up a notch.
By the time he did What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he was more of a teenager. He turned down Hocus Pocus in order to do What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
That's right.
And I think that was a big mistake. Huge.
What happened to dude from Hocus Pocus? They offered him a lot of money.
Leo.
They offered him a lot of money to do Hocus Pocus. Disney did.
Okay, well, This Boy's Life and What's Eating Gilbert Grape were released at the same time.
Okay.
In 93.
Okay. He filmed This Boy's Life first. And then people started taking him seriously afterwards because of What's Eating Gilbert Grape, as well as one of my favorite scenes of any movie is in Basketball Diaries.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Where he is strung out. He is at the end of his rope, and he's knocking on his mom's door.
He's like, "Come on, let me in."
He's like begging her for money. He's depicting an addict. They use every single tactic.
Yeah, man, he was sucking dicks in bathrooms,
exactly.
Man.
But when he's trying to get money from his mom, he is threatening her. He is pleading with her. He is guilting her. He is negotiating with her. He's doing every single thing he can just to get some money. And she's on the other side, just emotionally dying. She's got the money in her freaking hand, but she's also already called the cops. And she doesn't give him the money until the cops show up or something like that. Or she slides it under the door.
I thought she didn't give him money.
Does she?
Don't the cops just take him away? She doesn't help him at all.
I think she slides it under the door, but the cops are there already.
Yeah.
But this is the movie that brought him international fame. He was already getting popular from Romeo and Juliet, but after this, he could do whatever the hell he wanted.
I feel like if you work at Marvin's Room, where you're working with huge actresses like Meryl Streep and
Marvin's Room. What is that?
Marvin's Room. Marvin's Room.
I have no. Is that a Leo movie?
Yeah, the Drake song. No, I'm sure there is a song by Drake called Marvin's Room, but yeah, Marvin's Room came out in '96. It's about a kid.
I never heard of that
cancer. One. It's a good one. You're boozing it. Diane
I don't know Oh, really?
Yeah, bitch. Oh, really? You hear that?
Nice.
Yeah. Diane Keaton and Meryl Streep.
Diane Keaton, Meryl Streep, and
Leo.
DiCaprio.
Wow.
Oh, and De Niro. Yep, he's
Put
in
it on the list. Damn.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this movie before.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, I turned off my.
Barbara's Room.
Got you. I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
If I'm not mistaken, it's based off. That's a play. Because I saw it as a play first Oscar movie.
Got you. So even though he was nominated first for What's Eating Gilbert Grape for his first Oscar, he didn't win until a couple of years ago for The Revenant, which I don't know if that was his best performance he's ever done.
They just gave it to him.
I think that he did a great job and he sacrificed a lot.
And he's majority the only person in the movie.
Yeah. And I see what he's doing as an actor, and he's doing a hell of a lot. However, he has done better roles.
Like Django.
Wolf of Wall Street, Great Gatsby.
I was going to go with
Fuck
Howard
Gabe Gatsby. That movie sucks. Yeah, Aviator, he should have won for that.
He sacrificed a lot more.
I will also say I love him in Blood Diamond, and he should have won for that one because he was not necessarily his normal character.
I didn't
like he was accent. Like a good guy and a bad guy. Well, because he has like that South African white accent with like a little bit of British in it. So his is.
He's never been the best at accents. I will say that.
Well, not everyone can be you, Jason.
Well, shit, I can't be Leo either.
This is true. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could.
But also, every time that I have a tendency of being intense when I'm on screen or acting, and sometimes that's off-putting, and I have to dial it back. And every time I dial it back, I think of actors that are very intense on screen. Leo is one of them, and therefore that's why I don't.
I thought you were gonna. No, if I'm thinking of someone who's intense, I'm gonna say fucking Nicky C. Man, there's no one more intense than Nicolas Cage. He's always just like, just his presence in a scene is intense. You're like, you just changed the dynamic of everything in this.
He's a different kind of intense, though. I'm talking about like intense, like in Django when he smashes the skull and really cuts his hand and shit. And
that reminds me of something like Robert De Niro would do. Yeah.
Yeah, to a degree. But he's one of the most intense actors today, in my personal opinion. Him and probably Joaquin Phoenix.
We'll see.
They can scare the shit out of you with the look.
We'll see. Joaquin Phoenix does not scare me, but we'll see in the new Joker movie how he does. But I don't know how. What the fuck is this look? You mad because I'm not in love with Joaquin Phoenix?
I mean, he's a good actor.
I mean, yeah, he's a good actor. I mean,
I think he's gonna do a hell of a job.
Give me 5 movies.
From Joaquin Phoenix?
Like, I would like Walk the Line is probably the best thing that I've ever seen him do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Her.
Yeah.
I
Parenthood.
hate Her. I thought that movie sucked.
We're talking about performances.
I mean, he's the main part of that movie. Like I said, I think the movie sucked.
Okay, then you're biased.
No, I don't hate Joaquin Phoenix. He's no like Kevin Costner. I just did not think that the movie was as good as everyone said it was.
It's just a weird movie.
It's just weird.
A weird movie.
Dang, I can't have an opinion?
You're being pessimistic.
No, I was just saying that I told you the best thing I've seen him in was him playing Johnny Cash. Mm-hmm. And then you named movies that I did not think that he was better than playing Johnny Cash in.
You can't.
But I don't hate Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
I do like him in The Gladiator because he is such a dick. Mm-hmm. I like him in... It doesn't matter. He's not in this movie. We'll talk about it when we do a movie about him. We're almost done. I'm tired. I'm hot now. I'm starting to sweat. Look at this. And I got one more fun fact.
Give it. Throw it out there.
Okay, so the last night of shooting, everyone got sick because somebody dosed them with some PCP, a.k.a. angel dust in the clam chowder.
Is that what they put in there?
Which would have really got me. I would have been fucked up because I love clam chowder and would have had like 2 bowls of that stuff. And
especially if they were in cold water.
Cold water. So even John Cameron, James Cameron. My brain hurts. Okay, so even he ate some of the clam chowder, and when he found out what the fuck happened, he threw up to make sure that he wouldn't get affected by it.
Yeah.
But there was over 50 people over 80 people who got sick and over 50 people who had to be hospitalized because of this. I did not read who the fuck did it or why.
I don't think they caught the person.
But somebody fucked up hundreds of people.
That's some bullshit.
Of being like stuck. Yeah.
There's probably some crazy person that had a low level
that's scary
position
because,
and they were like,
what if you had 2 bowls, like I said?
Yeah.
You could OD or some shit like that, you know?
Exactly.
I love me some clam chowder.
there's definitely some fucked up shit.
Yeah. But Leo is always to be admired. We loved his latest performance.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
He did a movie recently.
He's still gonna be playing great roles to come.
Yeah. He's got a million things that he's working on. He's always looking for good projects. And he has his own production company. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But most notably, I will say that he's
saving the planet.
He's saving the planet. Exactly.
One model hoe at a time.
Yeah. People criticize him for the money that he makes. However, they do not understand how much money he donates to.
Right. He's very aware of what's going on.
I don't think that it's like that anymore. Because anytime that I bring up Leo, people are like, he's like saving the world. Yeah. Like that is like what everybody says. So I think that it is known now that he does give a huge portion of his money to charities and he helps out stuff.
Yeah.
He's on many, many boards, many environmental activist situations. He's constantly looking out for our environment. He's constantly looking out for our animals.
He donated a huge chunk to the Amazon that you mentioned.
Yes, he absolutely
last
did.
week. Yeah.
Absolutely did.
Thank you, Leo, for listening to our show and hearing my plea.
Yeah. And he goes solar and electric as much as physically possible.
Yeah, you'll see him in a Prius all the time. Mm-hmm. in shots of him, whenever I see pictures, he's in a Prius.
Always in a Prius.
Yep.
But I'm out.
Well, can I just say that thank you guys for waiting for me to do this episode and talk about Titanic, because I knew this movie was just so much filled with so many fun things.
You guys, we weren't even close to scratching the surface.
I know. There's still so many fun things. But can I say something that will excite you guys maybe?
Titanic 2. Coming out next year. No,
it came out in 2010.
When Titanic,
there was another one?
When Titanic came out, the original movie, 97, an Australian billionaire, decided to invest money to replicate in building a second Titanic. Second Titanic ship.
Shit. Titanic 2. Correct. And it was supposed to do the same route, right?
It's supposed to do the same route to New York. That the nostalgia of it. And he's a billionaire. He wants to spend this money on it. So they started construction, and it was estimated to set sail in 2018. Well, that's already passed. It was. So due to payment disputes and lack of funding, it kept getting pushed back. But it's actually still happening. So the recent article I read today was that it's set to sail in 2022. So I want to ask you guys.
No.
Would you get on that ship?
Fuck no, it's a curse.
Not for his maiden voyage.
Bad omen? Yeah, it's going on the same route.
One, is it going in April?
Nope.
Like if you're going in
not doing it.
August, where I know there ain't gonna be no icebergs.
Or the ice caps have been melting.
They've been melted.
Not doing it.
I mean, yeah.
It's going to get taken down by the lost souls of the first Titanic.
I just want to know who is going to go on that ship.
No. I'm not doing it. You can't pay
me
enough money to do that.
Yeah, a second Titanic is being built.
What are they calling it?
Titanic.
2.
Electric
Boogaloo. There was a Titanic 2 movie that came out in 2010, and it's basically exactly what you
Did they sink it again?
It is exactly what you basically just described. A billionaire decided to make a Titanic replica and do the same exact from fucking Paris to New York, and it crashes.
Jesus.
So, yeah. You just...
Leave well enough alone.
I do have a fun fact before we go on. There was a book that came out several years before this ship sank about a ocean iron named the Titan that hit an iceberg and sank, and tons of people died. because there were not enough lifeboats on the ship. So this book basically foreshadowed what really was about to happen. Yeah. So that Titanic 2, the stupid electric boogaloo, is mimicking what's going to happen to this billionaire's Titanic 2 boat. Just saying. Don't ride it, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you Poe. And the Titanic for the level 3 to buy a ticket was $33. For like the highest suite was $4,000.
Wow.
And that's all I got. It's good. My brain feels empty now.
You expunge everything?
I don't know. I know in like 20 minutes I'm going to be like, fuck, I forgot to mention. Because I didn't write everything down. It was too much stuff. Oh, Lord. All right.
Well, that's how I feel after auditions.
Yeah, I don't have any more room to memorize anything else. I need to like clean slate it so we can start for next week.
Cool. Well then, let's move on.
Oh God.
All right, let's go. So,
Oh,
yeah, you know what time it is. Oh shit, I fucking forgot.
You forgot what time it was.
I forgot what time it was.
I'm not ready for this.
I am not ready for this. It's time for Z for the people. All right, so there's a Titanic Foundation out there. There's this place in North Ireland, and it was where the Titanic and the sister boats of Titanic were built on this like little like shipyard place, and it kind of like fell under repair, and a lot of things were torn down, and a lot of people lost their jobs because boats weren't built there anymore, and it was kind of shut down. It reopened in 2012, and they opened up the Titanic Museum, which you can go to, and it has, I believe there might be some real artifacts there, but they have remade rooms and suites and things like that, so you can get an idea what it's like to really be on the boat.
Yeah.
You can also get married there if you want to.
Damn.
I thought it was really cool. If you guys are in Northern Ireland, go to this place and go check out the Titanic. They don't really... I didn't see anything for donations. I don't know if there is a price to get into it. I don't know. But I do know that this place looked really cool when I was looking at it. The weddings were kind of weird. You can get married on the Queen Mary, though.
Yeah. No.
No. It's not going to think it's docked.
I know, but it's just...
It's still got ghosts on it.
It's cursed.
Me and Monique just went on it a couple, like, last month. We had a good time. Had some drinks in the bar. Walked around. Anyway, so you can go to Titanic Blastfest.com. And this museum looks pretty cool, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It has, like, a cool Titanic sign that's, like, cutouts. And it's, like, over a water, like... tub or fountain or whatever, and so it looks like the Titanic is like double written through the water. There was a lot of really cool things.
Okay.
And if I'm ever out in Ireland, which I don't really plan on it, I would go and stop by there because that seems cool. And that is where the Titanic was really built.
Nice. It's an Irish ship.
Yeah.
15,000 Irishmen built this ship.
At
Solid
this
as a
place.
rock.
Yep.
In Belfast.
Belfast.
The
And
weight
that
of
is
70 men. Fill these boats, Mr. Lightfoot, for God's sake, man.
And that is my Z for the people.
Oh, it is so late. Let's get this
Z's
knocked
ready
out.
to go to sleep.
Let's get the show on the road.
Let's get the road on the show. All right. So please, if you have any Hollywood Close Encounters, please send it to lightscameracocktail@gmail.com. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on CastBox, we're on Podbean. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, look us up. We are on there. We're on YouTube. You got anything else to say?
Nah, I think you named them
I
all.
named
It's been a
it.
year, guys. Let's get this audience
Happy
numbers
1 year.
up. Yeah.
We out.
Happy 1 year, you guys. All right. So we are getting ready for next week's 90s movie.
Yes.
And I feel like you're going to know what it is once you hear this. So.
It's super easy. It's a good one.
That's a good
gonna
one.
Love it.
It is.
We're going to be very, very excited and animated as fuck next week.
I don't know what I'm going to wear, but it's going to be fun.
not wearing shit. It's gonna be hot next week.
Is it another swimsuit episode? Because I'm down
Swimsuit
for that.
episode. I'm down.
Yes.
Check us out on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Zenobia's just
Shimmying over here.
very small bathing suit.
Pasties.
Still accepting applications.
No dick pics. My brother looks at them.
Dang.
All right.
All right, let's get this scene.
Are you ready?
As we're gonna be. Mm-hmm. No rehearsal.
No rehearsal. Okay. I simply don't understand the wide-eyed... okay, hold on.
Take 2.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Pause for effect.
Pause. I simply don't understand the wide-eyed attitude, especially from a scientist. I mean, how can you stand in the light of discovery and not act?
Oh, what's so great about Discovery? It's a violent, penetrative act that scars what it explores. What you call discovery, I call the rape of the natural world.
Well, the question is, how can you know anything about an extinct ecosystem, and therefore how could you ever assume that you can control it? You have plants in this building that are poisonous. You pick them because they look good, but these are aggressive living things that have no idea what century they're in, and they'll defend themselves violently if necessary.
Yeah!
Bam!
Drop the fucking mic, Ashley. Boom. All right. That's next week.
I don't believe it.
That's next
You're
week.
here to defend me, and all I've got is the blood-sucking lawyer on my side.
I know the lawyer's like, I think this is a great idea, you guys.
Right?
We should
This
do
money-hungry
this.
lawyer.
Well,
All right, you
that's
guys.
next week.
That is our show.
Yes.
The Titanic is sank long ago.
That is our history episode.
We're
Yes.
tired. We're out of here. Thank you so much for sticking with us for an
Thank
entire
you.
year. We love you. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And we will see you guys right here next week for another episode of Lights, Camera, Cut.
Cocktails!
I'm flying, Jack. I'm flying.
Our ribs hurt. We've been sitting so long.